And then I sit here, look at this screen where it has a line going across, saying, "Oh, we're almost set up. We're almost set up," and then live streaming in a couple seconds if we aren't already.
So we have to wait for you to go live before we can plug into YouTube. Is that how it works?
I would imagine because you could sit there on my channel and there'll just be nothing there, and then you should get a some kind of notification saying that we're streaming live. And okay, I just got the chat and open up. All right, good morning, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Cariboo Hart TV Sunday morning wake and bake. It's going to be a great show today. We've got 311 all mixed up in the house here. He's going to join us today. Anybody been following him on Cannabuzz, get out there. It's Advanced 88 is his handle on there. He's been growing for a long time. We're going to get to know this guy. 311, how you doing, brother? You're on mute.
Yep. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Glad to be here. Thank you for letting me on Cariboo Hart. Organics is great.
Thanks for showing up, man. We really appreciate this. So, a bunch of us within this circle of that people are seeing on the screen right now, we've got a pretty good idea who you are, but a lot of the people, they're just hearing about you for the first time. So, what could you maybe tell us about yourself? Let's start off with maybe like how long have you been growing for?
I've been growing since 1992.
Okay, so you got some skills. You've been at it a long time.
Yeah, I was handed down from my dad.
Nice. It's kind of funny, I was the one that got my dad into growing weed, not the other way around. And it's funny because I remember in like high school times when you get the odd bag seed, and I remember trying to grow one in a coffee cup in my closet in my bedroom. He found that and just lost his shit on me. And it's just funny how that kind of thing goes. Full circles,
Yeah, he got a little upset once I started outgrowing him. It all really started back in the day. No one really knew anything. There was no books. We had to go to the library. We learned everything from the tomato books, and we learned everything from just the proper gardening, and going into the gas station and picking up a High Times magazine and going to the back and searching to Ask Ed real quick, and writing all that down. We didn't have phones. We didn't have picture cameras or iPhones. I never even had a cell phone until I was 18. So we had DSL dial-up back in the day where I would get on and I'd sit down in my dad's ham radio room, and I'd be on IC Mag, and I'd be on the, Grass City, and I'd be on all them forums slipping through, and, I'd come across, LC soil mix. I came across a guy named LC, and that was my first take on living soil. But if I back that way up, let's just back it way up. Let's say what got me into smoking was I grew up in the city. Everybody knows what town, but I grew up in the city, and I was a good kid. Because my parents kept me in sports, so I was very athletic. I was in baseball, I was in gymnastics, Sokol they called it, and then I was into I wrestled, basketball, you name it. That's what we did in the city. Whatever time of year it was, that's what sports we were playing. Nobody did any drugs. We stayed out of trouble, and everybody's like, oh, inner city kids are horrible. No, it's, my parents whooped their ass, that those days are all gone. The kids these days will go kick a homeless man when he's down because they have no moral codes. But my grandfather, he was a cop, my father-in-law, he's a state cop. But at any rate, just the morals of my grandparents growing up set the standard of, never hit a woman, treat them with respect, go to church, believe in a higher power, there's always something. But then it takes a turn for the worst in people's lives. I moved out of the city when I was a freshman in high school. So basically, instead of going to the high school where all my friends went, I was the new kid in the block. I moved up. My dad transferred from General Motors in the city, and he got a job up in Wisconsin. Let's just say up north a little bit, and he got a job there at the plant, the General Motors plant. And I ended up having to move to a rural town where the kids had cliques. You know what I mean? They were the country boys, and I ended up getting into sports, and I was really good. I was really good from the city. I golfed. I took Rockford Junior Classic 3 years in a row. Uh, I was really good at that, and in the baseball. But then the group that I was hanging with in baseball were potheads. So there we go. So then, we'd have a after baseball party, and then I had one at my house one time, and we busted in my dad's Stroh's beer, and finally, smoked a bowl, and I didn't really get high. Didn't do nothing for me the first time. It was just drinking a little beer. I just doing our thing. But I had a friend. I raced motocross then at a time. I raced a KX 125, and I was riding it up and down the street in the middle of nowhere, and then the cornfields across the street. And this other kid moved in, Bob Brocious, and he had this little makeshift bong that he took a percolator or the percolator or whatever from the chemistry lab at school. And he made a cork, he made a bong out of it with a hose that came out of the cork or whatever. And we went down, we played the Nintendo 64 or the Nintendo, the old Nintendo with Paperboy and Touch Bowl or whatever, Techno Bowl, whatever. And I smoked that, and I just started laughing fit. I was so high. That time. Went home. My parents were like, my mom looked right at me. She goes, "You're stoned." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." I just started laughing. She's like, "Just go downstairs and go to bed." And that's when I knew I had the free pass with cannabis. My parents were always cool with it. Then I had to talk with my father. He says, if it comes from the earth and everything, it's all good. He's like, "I'm good with the cannabis thing." He's like, "If you smoke it here, and if your friends come over and smoking it in the garage and stuff, that's cool. Just you guys, here's the deal. They catch you with it in your car. And as soon as you get caught with it in your car, you get a name, then they follow you. And every time they pull you over, you got a little bag of seeds, you got a little, 1 gram or a joint or something. You get cuffed up." So then that happened a lot when I was like, say, 16 to 18. So I had a whole bunch of charges in this little town. So, but all that aside, let's just say I got married. Well, we'll just say how I got into growing. I'm sorry, I just probably the ADHD kicked in. I just don't want to be on the story. Let's go to what got me growing now. My dad always had a plant. Like back where I grew up, we had a huge garden. He had a 40 by 20 garden with tulips around it, with beans and carrots and radishes. And he was an awesome green thumb. Well, he always had like one or two plants in there. Never knew what they were. He was in the service in Germany, and he got all his seeds brought back in a toothpaste tube. And he brought them all back. He had thousands of them. So what you see in that picture is what he got from Amsterdam. Long time ago. That's White Widow. That was like right when Beach Seaman and before Greenhouse, that was the White Widow right before it hit the high times and all that. You can't get that no more. But he had that. That's what got me into it. So then it started I got married at 18, moved out, got a house, I he was like always growing outside, so I was like getting into the books and knowing that I could bring it indoor. And then I got a 3 by 3 by 4 box that I built just with a computer fan in the top left back corner, and I drilled 2-inch little holes on the bottom for air intake. And this was all from reading books. Read your books, kids. Anyways, then I got a 75-watt high pressure sodium from a barn, from an abandoned barn. It was just a 75-watt that uh, I'm kind of an electrician. I'm a do-it-all. I could do plumbing, electrical, uh, build a house from scratch. You name it, I could do it. Tree service like Cariboo, I could do. I've done that.
Jack of
I've
all
done a
trades.
lot. Yeah, pretty much master of none. But so basically, I used the 75-watt in one of them dome. They're aluminum domes. They're 8 inches. I screwed that into there with a new mogul because the ceramic, it had to be a heavy duty ceramic mogul in there. So I took the original one that comes with it out because it's aluminum and put the ceramic one in there and ran the 75-watt high pressure sodium in there. And I grew 4 plants in 3-gallon pots, and bam, but Miracle Grow. In Miracle Grow time release potting soil, because that's all we had back then. We didn't know about flushing and all that stuff, and you know these days. But it says feeds up to 8 to 9 weeks. Well, the plants always faded. They were always done, and I always had to deal with that. But then that turned into me building a 4 by 6 by 4 with a double door with just fluorescents for veg, with a little 2 foot on the top shelf for my clones. And then I built a 4 by 4 by 6 veg room with a plywood on the floor. And then I just outlined it with 2 by 2s. And I just got regular tarps from the store because we didn't have any poly back then or nothing. And I just got tarps and I stapled it to the rafters and then stapled it to the floor, and then and then made a remote 400-watt metal highlight that I got from a street light from a friend. It was an old street light hooked together. If you guys know what I'm talking about, the ballast is hooked to it. It's a big, huge box with a big dome. So I made that remote as well. Took it all apart. I put it 12 foot away and set it there. And then that was my veg room. And then I got 1,000-watt from a baseball field. So I ended up making that reflector myself. I got aluminum from the hardware store out of 2 by 2 sections, and I made it 20 inches by 18 inches. And I got the aluminum corners and drilled it and riveted it all together and put the mogul, the base into it really nice, and stuck the 1,000-watt in there and lit it. And bam, there was 1,000-watt in the 7 by 7 room right next to that 4 by 4, built with the tarps just like that. So I was ripping pretty good. And then alcohol got in the way. This was my first marriage. So I had a couple kids, and I started cranking out some pretty good stuff. And the people in the town I was living were, you know, associated with some bad people and whatnot. And I started drinking, and then the one guy wanted to keep drugs at my house and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, dip into them a little bit, and he didn't care because I kept it there. And yeah, I was like it was kind of stupid because we didn't have carbon filters back then, man. You'd pull into my driveway and it'd be like, fudge. That's me, man. Because back then, I I had Sensi Star, I had Dutch Street, I had Hawaiian Haze, Northern Lights, I had the Widow. I had all these I always had great strains because I was a searcher. I I always was in the books where it says top 10 strains of 2020, top 10 strains of 2010. You know, all of them I've grew them, and I found the best breeders from Subcool to Jinx Proof to uh, Dungeons Vault to Masonic. Some of these guys come and they go, but I always kept to the breeders that stand true, like Boggs and um, uh, Mr. Soul. And, I looked up to those guys, Ed Rosenthal, even, like Super Bud, that stuff. I've had it, but it's just a long, Jack Herrera, or if I pronounce it right, but Herrera, all of them guys, hats off to them guys. Even Eddie Leap, Eddie Leap was the man. He was the man, 300 pounds of playing skin and truck. But at any rate, drink got involved. Let's go back to what happened after the first time. I ended up getting involved with these bad people, and nothing got ripped off or anything, but there was a semi truck loaded with brand new sleds, 20 of them. And I decided to hop in the truck with these guys and drive it away towards Indiana, towards south. Let's just say we go south. Was reported, got pulled over and arrested. Long story short, got sent somewhere. So that was, just say, 4 years of my life wasted, gone, just like that. Phone call from the place, had to call my dad. That was the worst phone call I had to make. Telling your dad that you fucked up and you need to go over there and tear it up. That, those thoughts never go through your head when you're on alcohol or on any other drugs. I have a clear head when I smoke weed and all that stuff, and I don't think that way. But what happened is I ended up doing my time like a man. That's it. I learned a lot of stuff when I was locked up, and rule number one is I never told anybody nothing. They didn't need to know nothing. Even if they asked, I never, I just smoked it. Rule number one from the old man was you never show or tell anybody anything. Show and tell times, not one of them things back then. It was do not ask, do not tell. When I grew up, my uncle smoked, but I didn't know. I didn't know until I was like 24.
That's where I come from too, is that whole keep your mouth shut, don't ask questions kind of era. So sorry to cut you off, and we'll get back into you real soon. But like when I first started growing, and a lot of people on this that we're looking at on my screen in front of me right now probably tell you the same thing. They didn't know much about growing. Trying to actually learn a thing or two to shorten that learning curve, man, that was really hard. So I kind of did the same thing, is go and read a lot of books. Ed Rosenthal, Ken Morrow from Trichome Technologies. He put out a good book, and all these other ones, and then Jeff Lowenfels and stuff. Right? You don't know anything, and then it was really hard trying to learn a thing, because you try and ask people that you do know, and they're like, they don't tell you because it is that culture. And then Facebook, you get all the assholes that want to give you different answers, and they're all right, everyone else is wrong. And then you actually come onto a place like Cannabis, where it seems like everybody is willing to help, and the assholes are few and far between. It seems like very few and far between. And I just, whereas I really appreciate it. I see growers that have just been starting out in the last year who say they started off with a hell of a time, kind of like I did, and now because of this, where we're getting past that culture finally now, where let's open it up, let's share, let's bring it into the sunlight, and it's just awesome. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that in there.
No, I agree 100% with you. That's how the cultures become in, and hopefully that they push the federal legal bill, and all this will come to, and everybody could get together and do their thing. But and then just say my time passed. I did my time. I'm learned to be a smarter criminal, going to prison, whatever. But but I went and got my GED and all that stuff when I was in there, and you know what I mean, and all that stuff. But I got out, did my parole or whatnot, and then met my wife. And I was got off parole and everything, and I started slipping into drinking again with my wife and everything, and she just said, choose one or the other. This shit's ridiculous. Sorry, excuse me. But she said, this stuff is ridiculous. You can't be doing, you know what I mean? You're allergic. My dad kept saying, quit screwing up, getting in the car completely blacked out, trying to drive. That stuff doesn't work. So she said, pick one or the other. And that's what I did. And she accepted me letting me grow. Because it's expensive, and for one, and for two, it was the swag days, man. It was brickweed, and when nuggets came around, or kind bud, or whatever we called them back in the day, it was always 50, 100, $100 a quarter. Still is these days at the dispensary. But I ended up setting up uh, where I am at now, and I started in a closet, and long behold, when I got out, my dad kept alive my widow. He lost my Sensi Star, my Dutch Street, and whatnot, because he wasn't very great, at cloning or whatnot. But he kept that thing that you see there, and it was like 6 foot tall under a fluorescent light, 4 foot 2 bulb, when he gave it back to me. So I ended up saving her.
Excuse me for interrupting. I really want to thank you for sharing your story with us. Could you maybe give us a bit of a timeline? You said you started in '82. I'm just interested in how the timeline of when you did time and when you met your wife.
92, and I went to prison in 2000. And then when I came out, I met my wife, and we got married a year later. Wasn't it, babe?
3 months.
Oh, we got married 3 months after we met. Yeah, I was ripped
Happy
and swole
anniversary.
when I got.
Happy Valentine's.
Yeah, we've been married, what, honey? 15 years.
Congratulations.
I'm not good with numbers. Yeah, thank you. I'm not good with numbers or anything either. I apologize about that. But I'm good with growing for some reason. It's like I'm attached to it. I found a really passion into it, and my wife's seen that, and she just let me go with it. And she does it. She does it to where it's out of sight, out of mind. Because she's into special needs and whatnot, and I'm pretty sure there's another person in here that can relate to what I'm talking about. Out of sight, out of mind, even though she might like to enjoy that widow because that's her favorite strain, but wink, wink. I don't know if she smokes or not, but but let's just get into how I started all this up here and became good at how I did it. Okay.
Yeah, let's get to the goodies.
I'm a perpetual guy. I run a perpetual grow, and I've always ran a perpetual grow, so I'm able to harvest weekly. I know all these guys like to use scrog nets and do a 2 month rip, but I don't have time to wait for that. I juggle way too many strains to be running that way. So I run basically the sub cool way. I watched a lot of Weed Nerds. I'm a Weed Nerd for life. I watched every single episode from the Weed Nerd. I watched every episode from Rasta Jeff. And then I even watched the back in the Farmer John days with Jinx Proof, and I even remember Dioxide and Prospect and all them guys. Even TCDR from Cali. He was a really good mentor of mine through the Grass City chat, to be honest. And basically, they said that's the way that I need to grow. I need to grow perpetual. Well, I do passive intake. I do not use CO2. What comes in goes out, and I have a lung room, which would be considered the laundry room. So basically, I use a furnace filter boxed into a rafter. I basically I boxed in my rafter, and I put in one of them great 20 by 26 by 1 grates that go into like the wall for a common home for your air intake for your furnace. So, and I put it up in the rafter, and then ran 2 6-inch tubes into my 7x7 veg room. That brings in fresh air. Then I have carbon scrubber in there, 6-inch, that goes through a 600-watt metal halide. Out dumps into my 20 by 14 flower room. And then I have my 4,000-watt light set up in there with the 8-inch carbon filter that scrubs that and brings it through the lights air cools them straight out through the roof to a roof vent. Those roof power vents, big round circle. I installed one on the roof, took the fan out, and just stuck that 8-inch right up in there. Now the mixing room would be the veg room or the laundry room where I keep that at 75 degrees. And that's where I dry also. So all that air gets pulled to the next room and then up through that filter back into the bedroom. If that makes any sense. So I don't need any CO2 because I have a 6-inch fresh air intake coming into the laundry room. And whatever, because I took the laundry vent and when the laundry is not running, it's on a damper. So I have a 6-inch and a 4-inch coming right next to each other. So that one pulls in with a damper and the other one blows out when the dryer's on. You know what's up.
Yeah, make it smell nice.
Yeah, and no steam or nothing, and that's coming in. That's not going out. So whatever comes in is just fresh outside, fresh CO2. And then there's also my gas, let's say gas water heater in there also, the little CO2 in there, and then that gets drawn back out. So I don't, and then I use the motto of 1,000 watt will cover a 6x6 room, 4 plants. Monsters. I get them as tall as I can. Veg for 8 weeks, 8 to 9 weeks. I veg for. I get them about 4.5 foot tall, 3.5 foot wide, and then off into flower they go. They end up being around 6 foot tall, 4 foot round, and bulletproof. 1,000 watt cover 6x6 room, 4 plants. What's that?
So that's what's up.
I have 4,000 watt lights covering a 6x6 area. So I have 16 plants. But I didn't want to say that because I'm in somewhere.
Yeah, we get that.
Yeah. But I tried everything. I tried it all, guys. I tried DWC, ebb and flow, aeroponics. I made a 4-inch tube when cut little 2-inch holes in it and put little net pots in it with little neoprene things with all the little sprayers and pH and ppm meters. And I tried it all, everything from hydroponics, the deep water culture. I tried even the ebb and flow with the 55-gallon drums and the 16 pot containers. But it's hard to do that perpetually because every single plant needs its own, nutrients. You can't just blast them all with, 1,600 ppms during, flower time, because the first one you just stuck in there last week, you nuked the shit out of it. So I didn't know that.
What's your medium of choice?
My medium now is a soilless cocoa mix, which is Roots Organic or Pride Lands or Big Roots or Ocean Forest or Happy Frog, whatever I get my hands on. I really been digging the Pride Lands. It's got a lion on it. That's some really, really good stuff. No bark. There's no fillers in it. It's got tons of perlite. It has everything in it that's amended, but I also amend on top of that. So basically I use Subcool's Super Soil recipe or LC's soil mix recipe that Sub took. Basically LC soils mix, if you look it up, it's still on IC Mag and all that. It was made with Pro Mix, like BX, Pro Mix BX or Sunshine Mix. And then Subcool went ahead and took it to the next level and added the other nutrients in it, which I believe help out tremendous because I love the alfalfa meal. The alfalfa meal brings out them purples and it's just amazing. And I can't think of a cyanide. I think that's the word I'm looking for, but I'm not really.
Anthocyanins?
Yep, that's it. It's got them in it to bring out them colors. So when everybody's like, "Oh, you drop your temperatures, do you do that?" Actually, no. My room runs at a steady 72 to 74 degrees and drops at night to about 68, in the Midwest. And in my soil would be, if you go online, Still Will's now selling the charge packs, which is basically something I wanted to do after Sub died, but I don't want my name out there and whatnot. Then Still Will went and ran with it, and he got a hold of Green Bicycles and did the whole thing with him. But it's always wanting to do something but never pulling the trigger, because I run a company all summer. So I work all summer, I'm off all winter. So, and then that's where all that comes into play with pH and ppm and that. I'm a pool man, I own a pool company. And so basically when it comes to that and people talking about the diatomaceous earth and all that, I'm just, put sand on your pots and whatever, all that stuff. I'm not completely 100% organic, but I do keep it, yeah, pretty much 100% organic. The only time I ever use anything that's not organic would be like Pyganic Pro, which is or MRI listed anyways. But I use that. It's got parathins in it, but I just use that for gnat control. Like Rasa Jeff said, I give them the 1-2 punch with actinovate or with venerate, and I give them one shot with that, and I give them one shot with the Pyganic Pro, and I'll never see a freaking gnat again or any other bugs. But I start off with nematodes in my super soil mix. So I'll make up my super soil mix and throw nematodes in there in my IPM regimen, which will be my 3-pack of, I get them from Arabo Organics. I get my predator mites. So I throw that in there. And Johnny will be learning all this stuff soon. So I'll be taking him on under my wing and blessing him with some genetics, and hopefully some others can get him. But that's basically kind of how I've been doing it for forever. And what's not broke, don't fix it kind of thing is what I keep it to. A lot of people say, well, why? Well, I just add water, man. That's it. I put my mix together. I do use CalMag on some IRE strains because those guys like the food, man. So I'll use like 2/3 of my super soil mix to a 5-gallon. I grow in 5-gallon buckets too. I don't roll with it. 5-gallon buckets are everywhere, man. I'll stop on the side of the road and grab them, wash them. I'll use them. I don't care. I like them because they have a handle. I can pick the damn monster up, and because I have a bad back, I just pick it up and move it. I don't keep my stuff on the concrete floor. I use a saucer, with, a little bit of a brick underneath it so it don't hit the concrete floor. I do all of that stuff. I don't overwater. I water every 3 days. I give them a half a gallon to a gallon every 3 days. Just a plain H2O. So basically, my ppm that comes out of the tap is around 150. That's perfect for clones and whatnot. So I didn't touch it. And then my pH comes out at 6.8. And with super soil, I just add a little bit of buffers in my soil. I just add a little bit of extra lime. I add a little bit extra Epsom salt in there. And I've learned to adjust his mix to my water, if that makes any sense. So if I put in pH water at 8 into my plant, runoff comes out at 7. Straight out, or 6.2, comes out 6.2. If I put it in at 5, like if I get some really shitty water, it's been sitting in the tank for 3 or 4 days, and I water with that on accident, I've ran the runoff off of that at 6.2. That's because the buffers are working in soil. I do use a lot of microzide too. I use Great White or Mycos, just regular Mycos pack. I add one of them to my super soil, and then when I transplant and veg from solo cup to 1 gallon, I sprinkle a little in there. I sprinkle a little bit of that everywhere. I don't use the recharge because it's messy, to be honest with you. The stuff gets on your fingers and shit, or on the floor, on the bucket, and it stains everything. And it didn't really, I didn't see any really results. I mean, I just add water, man. I have a KDF filter, like a sediment filter. You know those OB21 filters that you get from the hardware store? They're the regular house blue filters, guys. Okay.
Yep. I'm in my parents' house, kind of looking at one over my left shoulder right now, where it's
Okay.
Dad plumbed that in all these years ago.
Okay, yeah. So I'm a pool guy, so I'm like, forget this stealth or this big boy or low boy. I'm making this shit myself. So I went and got two for $18 a piece, so $32. I put a sediment filter in the first one, and then I went and got the KDF offline for the Stealth RO. You could get that, or just go right to the hydro stop and pick the KDF filter up, and that fits right in that OBD2. So I got a sediment, then the KDF, and then I screwed on an RV right after that, just for super duper, and been running with that forever, ever since the Stealth came out. And my water's, like I said, 150 ppm. I don't use RO because I don't use the RO because RO likes to strip a little bit of minerals as it goes in. It just does. I know there's controversy about that, but it just is. You have to always pH your RO. It has a fluctuation point that sucks. So the tap water that comes from the city's already got the buffers in it. It's already got all that shit in it, man. The only thing you don't want is the chlorine and chloramines. That's it. That's it. So I threw away my pH and ppm meters years ago. I don't even use them. So I took Johnny's and threw them away, I think.
I want to have a discussion with you, like more in depth at some point about how to just go water only without the pHing, because this is where I need to get to with my growing. But can you go into this a little bit? So, because I'm probably willing to bet I'm not the only one that wants to hear about this, about what are you adding so that you to act as buffers within your soil amendments or whatever, so it's to get it so it's water only. Because there's who likes testing pH? It's a pain in the ass in my mind.
I hate it. It is a very pain in the ass.
I just I have to say on the waterfront on that, when you talk about having all those buffers in the water and stuff, I'm going right through an organic system. I use RO water because the water in my area sucks. It's just terrible. And if I run a ppm meter out of my faucet after I run it through a carbon filter, I still almost have 900 ppm. So I'm not putting that shit on my plant.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
I don't pH my water.
I RO everything.
You live in Flint, Michigan?
Yeah.
Oh, Nike.
So, but I run RO and I don't add anything to it or buffers or anything. The only thing when I do, I'll add my microbes, this, that, and the other, and I throw that in the pot. And my theory on that is, that empty water is going to grab everything it can out of that soil and give it to those plants. If it's going to evaporate, it's going to evaporate away. So, I don't mind the RO water when it comes to that, because I think it's grabbed what it can and it's going to give it to those plants in a more timely manner. That could just be some dumbass in me, but I like to think that.
I kind of luck out. I know exactly what, after adding all of my newts, what my water is going to be at. So I haven't had to pH my water in 4 years because I've run the same newt line. Once you realize that, you realize you don't need a pH anymore, because
not to mention their rhizophagus or phages, whatever, some people pronounce it two different ways, but they take care of your pH for you. Not only do they buffer everything in between, but once they develop that symbiotic relationship with your roots, it's game over. If you keep inoculating that system now, if you're coming in and you're fucking setting nuke bombs on them with all them fucking insecticides and pesticides and shit, or fungicides.
Never use them.
Yeah, I mean, those fungicides and insecticides are you're just going to come in and wipe away all that work and money you just put into there anyway. So,
the word bomb in my flower room or plant room just kind of hinders me from wanting even to do that,
Right.
Was that
I
turp?
try to think
So
of
I
it as like
avoid
a
them.
microscope, and I just see this like wave of just fire just coming over the microbe.
It's like napalm.
Yeah. Sorry,
That
go ahead.
guy is
I need to
one
figure out how to
smart
turn my
dude.
thing out.
Okay, so let's get back to 311 here. I was asking if he can go into
Yeah,
processes for keeping his stuff just water only.
Well, Turp hit it on his head right there. He nailed it. He nailed it. Get yourself some Great White or Mycos or whatever we want to use, man. There's tons of products out there. I like Mycos because I get a deal on it. I think it's spelled like Mycokes or something like that. The guy at the hydro store just gets it to me real cheap. So, the bag, he gives me like 5 bags for like $3-4. He doesn't care. But because he knows I use the crap out of it. So every time I transplant, I sprinkle a little bit in there. I mean, that's king. That's right there. You're using your water. That's gonna inoculate that rhizosphere, and then it's gonna take your buffers and whatnot and do what it has to do to water your plant. Now, basically, the newts that are in the soil and in an organic grow, the way that I grow, the plant only uses what it needs. So even if you made the soil hot a little bit, or you know what I mean, or if you put a little bit of this or a little bit of that too much in there, it doesn't care. It's only going to take what it wants. Soil is one of the best, easiest grow methods you can do in a perpetual. If you're going to grow hydro or all that kind of way, it's just every time I went that way, it's when one goes down, they all go down. I do run into problems here and there. Like I said, running some Irish strains, they just like to eat. So you just got to buff up your blood meal. You got to buff up your fish bone meal, or whatever you're throwing in there for your nitrogen source. But like water only buffers will be your lime. Your lime's your pH. I do use azomite, but that's just basically trace minerals. The other big buffers would be the oyster shell. So I put in 1 cup of oyster shell per bag of soil because that's just the way I do it. And I use 1 cup of lime per bag of soil. That's because that's just the buffer. Those are the buffers, man. If you read a bag of soil, the buffer in there is oyster shell and lime. Those are the 2 buffers they use. And I think Turp will agree. I don't know. And then when they say they add microzide in a bag, maybe a tablespoon.
Yeah, I just think the real thing you got to watch with is lime is, overusing it. I think a lot of people, they'll start throwing that lime in and they will just burn the shit out of their plants because they have now made, a very, I believe it's acidic soil is what the lime will do. So yeah, you just got to be careful when you use it. Use it in moderation, man. Almost all that stuff when you go organic, you can use in especially the minerals and stuff. You don't have to use them a lot, and they break down slow. So you don't need much of it.
No, but this is how I had to figure it out. I mean, it took 10 years to figure it out. Every single year I write down, or every 8, when one comes out, every time I make a mix, I write down what I put in it. Basically, I'm kind of weird like that. I'm OCD. So I put 1 cup of this, 1 cup of this, 3/4 cup of that, 3/4 cup, half a cup of this, 1 bag of this, and I write it down. Well, I see how that one turns out, and I'm like, well, that one faded a little bit. I had to add a little Cal Mag. Well, Cal Mag's basically what the plant, calcium and magnesium are I think magnesium is the one that helps the plant photosynthesize. I think Turp will correct me or not. And I think calcium is another one. Those 2 are the biggest main factors in keeping it true and nice, luscious green growth. If Cal and Mag get fucked up, you're screwed. And it's hard to bring them back. And a lot of people are like, what's wrong with my plant? What's wrong with my plant? Well, it could be calcium, magnesium, light burn, or your pH is out of whack. Basically what that boils down to. or lockout because you're using a high pH water or the wrong, so you're using spring water or pure drinking water. When you test them, sometimes they test at 0 ppm, which is fine, but the pH is like 10. You got to watch them spring water bottles that people buy from the store.
I'm curious, do you water to runoff? And
No.
if so, how much?
Nope. I think Terp went over it the other day. I actually bottom feed and top feed. I use about every other time I bottom feed. So like just say Monday I'll bottom feed and I'll fill my tray up to about 2 inches till it disappears, and it goes fast. It'll be dried up within an hour. And then 3 days from that, I'll use the half gallon to a gallon on my watering day up top. And that keeps the fungus gnats away. It keeps the rhizosphere and it keeps the soil medium nice and even. So Terp's a smart dude. And every time he talks, it's like I do so much shit the way he does. It's ridiculous. I just give my hats off to that dude. I mean, he's a super smart dude. And I tell Johnny that all the time. It's like if he says something to you, dude, do it.
I made calling him the most interesting person in cannabis for a reason, because it comes up.
Well, I appreciate all the compliments and stuff. And I want to share a couple things real quick. I know 311, you're our guest, so today I'm going to drop a pro secret for all you guys, since you guys are getting into this cloning and stuff. I know some of you guys are going to get a cloner and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and throw you a bone today. And I'm going to teach you guys how to get the most out of your clones. This will be quick and easy and painless. I promise I won't ramble on. This is a way to take clones. And if you take the right clone, you can take 4 clones and turn them into 8 clones without taking 8 clones from your plant. So I'm going to teach you how to do that today. It's fairly easy. If you got an arrow cloner and you got it dialed in and you're working it right, this is an awesome pro tip for you. So I'm going to do it right here. I'm going to show you how to do it. That way you can see it for yourself. And then also, with that being said and all the compliments and stuff, and Brad, I really appreciate you. You're such a positive direction and influence all the time. And that's awesome, dude. I know the last couple of weeks have been pretty crazy with my medication and stuff. Obviously, I deal with a lot of trauma from my history. And I take medication, and I'm going to be talking with someone to work out some things, but I was on a search for medication for people like me. I have found something that works. I'm going to start phasing myself off of trazodone and possibly my budesonide, which is, I have a chronic disease and I have to take these steroid rinses twice a day. I'm not going to lie, I haven't taken them in 4 days, and my sinuses are clear. We'll go over the medicine and stuff and what I found later. Fluffkins, you've got a sample of that medicine. So we'll go over that and how to use that and whatnot. But anyways, so I'm just going to read something quick and then I'll show you the process. But I know that everybody out there, there's been people out there that's been grinding, for 25 years straight. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to grind that long. I have the knowledge and I learned a lot of things. And I did a lot of stuff back in 2000, from 2000 to 2006. And then I also had issues and problems and all that stuff. So I just want to give my heartfelt appreciation to the people that were able to keep their shit together and were smart enough to hole up and figure all this shit out. And without all that, I just want to start by telling everyone out there that I give advice based on trials and errors that I've tried. If someone out there has scientific or quantifiable advice or direction, I would kindly ask you to share, and also, go ahead and correct me at any time, that you do something different or you learn something, you have quantifiable evidence, please let me know. I would not like to give anybody bad advice ever. And all these things I do are based off of stuff that I do. So not everybody grows the same. Everybody has different grows and does different stuff. I like to have certain pests around me at all times. It's just what I do. It's how I tell what plants get messed with by certain pests and which ones don't, you know? So everything has a purpose and a process, no matter what. Also, I want to shout out to Katsu Bluebird and his family. May the spirits guide and protect you through this trial in life, and special blessings to you and your son. I hope your son is doing well. I hope the healing process is good. I want to get a shout out to Brad and Cariboo Hart TV. My blessings and my special thanks to you, dude. I hope that you make it through this. And also, I want to give a shout out to Irie Genetics and Ross Jeff. Absolute 100 as always. Shout out to Cannabuzz. Without your platform, I could have never have achieved all this stuff that I have achieved. Especially shout out to Q Grows and JR Token and everyone who supported my madness. Me not being able to take my medications so that I can test other medications so that I can help people, you know. And I also been doing a lot of work, you know, and I got a lot of seeds I'm gonna send out to the union and to you as well. So without further ado, let's take a clone from a clone. Not only are you going to optimize your clone, but you're going to top that clone at the same time. So by the time you go into your soil, you're going to have a topped clone and another clone from the same clone. Sounds like it might be, you know, difficult and stuff, and honestly, it's really not. It's just the process and the time. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your clone.
It's not really the time for doing prep work and stuff, man. You should have had this stuff ready to go beforehand. We had this really good show going on, and then you just rambled on for like 5 minutes and you didn't say a damn thing the whole time. It's really rude to the guests that we did have on. I'm sorry, man. You got to do better prep work than this. It's not okay.
Slacker.
Could we please just get to the point or get back to the show?
You have a blessed day, my friend. You can go ahead and get back to the show. You have a guest.
Okay, thank you. 311. Can we get back to you now, please?
Hey, hi. That's okay. Not a big deal. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't mean to be cranky. It's just that we were on a really good roll there for a bit, and then it was just 5 minutes of rambling and nothing. And
well, I understand.
We really appreciate you coming on. You've been dropping knowledge like crazy. Terp, I've got nothing against you, brother. I love you. And you're the most interesting man in cannabis for sure, but you don't get to hijack the show and make it about yourself.
He was trying to just show how to do two clones out of one thing, and he's probably like me. He's got a little ADD or ADHD, but I'm not sure. I'm not a doctor. I have a lot of medical issues too, but I really do look up to the guy. He's very smart, so it's all good.
Oh, I do too.
It's all good.
It's just
it's all
there's
good.
a time and a place for everything, and you don't get to step in out of nowhere.
Okay.
Hijack. This is your show for you, brother. We want to put you on a pedestal. Everybody within the cannabis community looks up to you, and we at towards the end of the show is the time where we should be talking about our own personal gardens and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Everyone will have something to say. So
okay. Well, I had my cloning methods is I don't use rapid rooters. I don't really like the rapid rooter. I use iHort plugs. They're just like the rapid rooter, but they're a little different. They're made in a circular with a little tip on the bottom. They're not square. They don't sink down into the water. I use just a regular black tray with a dome, a high dome. And I take 3 cuts of everything, and I just use those iHort cubes. I sterilize everything. I poke down through the hole with the scissor. I take my cut and, if I had a 45, scrape it a little bit, put it in my root hormone down into the plug, three each one, set it in the tray, and I get roots within 7 days. I get 100% root 100% germination. But what I do use that a lot of people don't like, but I don't care because I do it my way. And what my way works is I use sink water to fill the tray about 1/8 of an inch above the ribs on the bottom of the tray. But I use sink water because it's got chlorine in there. And if there's any bacteria or anything, it'll kill it. But a lot of people be like, oh, hey, you can see my room. You can see my clones. I got 100% rate. Okay. It's not a big deal. Everybody's got their own opinions, and I appreciate everything. And I've tried a lot of different ways. I've tried all these other methods, but this is what works for me. Once they come out of the tray, they go into a regular solo cup, the small ones, and they're clear. And I know I'll catch slack about that too, but hey, I use the clear cup for a reason. I stick them in the cup and I stick them in a dome for another week or so until I could see the roots come through the cup. And then when I'm able to take the dome off without the plants wilting up, then they're hardened, and then I'll be like, oh, they're not hardened off enough, and I'll stick the dome back on. And then I'll come back down the next day and take the dome off a little bit until I see that they're not going to curl up. Then they're hardened off enough. Then I stick them right into a 1-gallon pot. And they get vegged for 4 to 6 weeks in the 1-gallon pot till they're about 16 to 18 inches tall. Those are clones from seed, same way, but they're a lot faster, especially lemon Jeffries. They pass everything up. But then from that, they go right into, after the 4 to 6 weeks in the 1-gallon, they go 3 weeks in a 5-gallon pot. And just enough to establish roots to start getting a really a fast growth out of it. It drives its taproot within those 3 weeks and spreads its wings. I get it right to about the top of a tomato cage inside a 5-gallon pot. So that would be, let's say, from the floor, it's a 4-foot tomato cage. So I get it about 4 foot. When I bring it out, I lollipop everything. I just take all the bottoms off. And then if I see any fluff, anything looking for fluff, that's going to turn into just that regular, fluff weed or whatever people call it, flurf or what, larf. I'll take that all out, just throw it away or make clones of it if I don't have it or whatnot. And then I don't mess with it after that. Put it right in the flower. And then after 3 weeks in the flower, if there's a fan leaf in the way of a bud site, like Rasa Jeff said, or subcool, it gets removed. That's it. I don't do any more stripping. I don't take any more leaves off because I think of it like this, and a lot of people might think I'm a little different about it, but say you put 20 solar panels on your roof. What are you bringing into your house, when the sun's on? You're bringing in 3,000 watts, you're pumping good. Well, go up there and take 6 of them off. How much power are you bringing in? You just ripped off all your solar panels. A lot of people will be like, oh, but hey, it is what it is. That's just the way I do things. I do not top. I do not mainline. I do twist and pop at my 3rd week. I do not like topping my plants because some hate it. So if I top a plant like the Widow or the Lemon Jeffrey, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to recover. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to sit there and wait 3 weeks for one to recover. It goes into flower. I don't want to top it. I like the big 12 to 14 inch Glory Dick Cola, but I could get a lot more bud sites, whatnot like that, but I average 6 to 8 ounces a plant. So, I mean, so I got, so if you do the math, I think it's pretty damn good. So if you do like 8 times 4, what's that? 32 per light, that's pretty good. I would say. So what is that? 2 pounds of light?
Are you using LED or mental
Well,
health?
I use 1,000-watt high pressure sodiums, and I will not go LED yet. And my theory behind LED is I don't think they're well enough manufactured for the 4-foot penetration you need if you're growing trees. If you're growing trees, you got to have 4-foot penetration. Now, if I go to get a Next Light, I've been at the store. I looked at Next Light or the Spider and all that stuff, but it won't penetrate 4 foot down to the floor. I don't care what anybody says. They're light, they're bright, but if I would put anything in my room, I'd put the Canon 360, but I'd need fucking 14 of them, if you know what I'm saying. But then I'm using more power.
See, we got 23 double ended, so that's the only reason we're trying to switch, bro, because of the cost. And we're thinking about the grower's choice, 720 EOI.
Right, but here's the thing. I mean, just an electricity cost. How much are them lights going to cost?
$1,000
I mean,
a piece.
There you go. Now that's $16,000, right?
But that's one harvest, easy. In a
Right.
room that's big, so I mean, they pay for themselves pretty quickly. But we pay $4,000 a month, in
Yeah,
electricity.
right.
So
You gotta look at it as a business aspect too, man. Most definitely, no matter what harvest, because not to interrupt you guys, but you can't rely on that harvest either, brother. We all know cannabis and anything can happen. I don't care if you're a master grower or not, anything can happen.
Right.
absolutely
And
right.
I love it. I would if I was in his shoes, I would definitely go ahead and swap them. Why not? I mean, I know the DEs are really hot, but here's another thing. A high pressure sodium has 3 parts. It has a capacitor, igniter, and a freaking transformer in it, or you know what I mean. Now they're electronic, but in a bulb. So if a bulb burns out, you just plug one in. If a freaking HLG 650 goes out, now you're fucked. I don't have time to go run out and go purchase $1,000 light because my
Well, that's
light
what
went out this morning.
we can only do like 2 at a time right now, and that's the only reason why we're getting them 2 at a time, because like
I would
Indica B said, we can't count on that harvest. The last one, fucking the mites got it, so and mites and powdery mildew, it got fucked. So
right. I would, dude, I would do it. I would, if I were you and in that position, I would do it. See, everybody has a different situation and a different grow in a different room. In your situation, heck yeah, you look at Brandon Rust, he's crushing it with them HLG 550s, brother. I mean, dude, all day long. It's just I don't have that kind of money. You know what I mean? I'm just a average Joe, just growing good weed, just bringing the dank. But for getting back into strains and whatnot, I always picked a breeder that would always respond to a text or an email. Like right away, IRE Genetics got back to me within 13 minutes. Subcool would always get back to me within a day. I emailed Cariboo Hart. Freaking 3 minutes later, I got a email back from him. Come on, join the show. Those are the breeders. And then if you ask them politely, and you're super kind to them, and they send you a care package that you weren't even expecting. I got one from everybody. I got one from Caribou. I got one from IRE. I'm growing IRE's Chemdela Chem times the rise just because I kept my mouth shut. I don't run my mouth. I keep my mouth shut. I just do my thing, and I let my work speak for itself. Let's just say it that way. I mean, I'm kind of I wouldn't say I'm still in the shadows a little bit, guys. I mean, I'll come on more and more and get to know everybody and stuff. But I'm a very quiet, shy person. I'd never really wanted to share my knowledge because I produced really good cannabis, and anybody who would grab anything that I've had, because I'm not a dealer, I produce medicine. So like I only have one guy, because I don't need any more than one guy because the one guy already knows. And then everybody from that one guy is like, holy crap, where the frick did this come from? Because I'll be pulling out Jilly Bean. I'll be pulling out Space Force. I'll be pulling out Candidental times a rise. I'll be pulling out Black Cherry Chem times a rise. These are shit. This is stuff that people ain't never seen. This is all unreleased strains. So this is where I go with strain selection and stuff. I like Jinx Proof because he runs limited editions. So everything that you see in his menu, I have. I have everything back from Hit Girl. I have I have Girl Time. I have every 9-pound hammer. You guys seen my picture. I've got everything from Jinx Proof, True Love, and Shangri-La, and Baked, and his new pine or whatever punch. But then there's another guy, Green Mountain Grower. He's seen my grow and he reached out to me. He's like, dude, you want this Primal Venom I got? And this is White Widow times Blueberry times Primal Punch he gave me. And you go to his page and that shit's fire. So I just popped those. And then I seen Cariboo Hart's page and I was like, yo, man, I need some of them. And he sent me 100 seeds. I was like, I don't even know what the hell to do with all these. So we got a place that we're going to call Cariboo Hart Place. And you'll be seeing some of that. And they're going to do it my way.
See, this is where I get nervous as a breeder whose name is just starting to get out there. A lot of the genetics of mine that have started to made their way around, they're just getting grown for the first time. And I'm just kind of, I'm bad. Like if I have a whole bunch of bad stuff come out or whatever, then it's like, right. But I've heard from a few people that have been growing for a good long while that have seen what they've seen so far out of the veg stage and whatnot has been pretty positive so far. So I'm really excited to see what the guy like you can do with my genetics. And if I get thumbs up from someone like you, then that's going to be the, like, oh man, it'll just be like the heart will stop fluttering and the clouds will part ways and the sun comes out and the angels singing,
But another thing is I'm a pheno hunter. I don't do autos. I don't like them yet. Some people should. So, and some people in their grow would be great, to rip go buy 100 autos and rip them and do your thing. But like I said, I grow a perpetual. I like the pheno hunt. I like to look at what I could find out of a pack of, Jilly Bean, or what I could find a pack out of Space Dog, or what I could find a pack out of Space Candy, or Marionberry, or, every single subcool strain I grew. I still have a lot of them. I just got sent Jack the Ripper times Gorilla Glue 4 from Badger's Batch. I just got Primal Punch times Quirkle from him. But those are just going to sit in the box because if anybody's like interested in growing anything limited edition, just reach out to me. I'll send you the pack. I don't want anything. I don't care. It's just I have too many. I sent some to Robert. I sent him a lot.
Dude, I got a package right here for you, and it's got some autos in it. So maybe I should take the autos and put something else in there.
No. I
Some
know
Mazar Auto XLs. So that I got. I was waiting for them from my giveaway because that's why I was waiting to send this package. But I just got them. But they are autos. So
they'll trust me. They'll go to somewhere where they'll be just taken care of just fine. The guy. He likes some autos. He's crazy about them. I don't know why, but whatever. He's crazy about a Mercury, man.
Yeah, I gave him some of his first autos, I think. Well, not maybe they weren't his first, but them one from Hypothetical. He loves them things.
Dude, he's crushing it with them because he's using my mix.
Yes, he sure is, bro.
And he's just adding water. And I told him to throw away all that other stuff he was using. And he was using grandma's black strap molasses. And I was like, oh, I used that like 18 years ago, dude. Throw it away. I mean, it is good. Trust me, if you know how to use it correctly. You don't use that shit every week. You use it at like day 30 and day 50 or day 40 or whatever, to bring out a little bit of taste. But me, I use my secret at day 30 and 50, but it's something called sucking it. You guys ever heard of sucking it?
I think I've heard of it, but that would be as far as I'd be willing to go with it. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, it's a refined brown sugar. And you find it at any health food store. It's completely 100% organic. And it just brings out the terps, you know, and the alfalfa meal does too, you know, bring out a lot of the terps. You know, if it's basically that's what I do. If it's strains called Lemon Jeffrey, and I listen to the Irie podcast, and I go to his strain description, and if it sounds and smells, I mean, what you hear is what I produce, man. Like the Lemon Jeffrey straight lemon cleaner, like it'll clean the floor with it, and it tastes just like it too.
I got two
So-
phenoms. I got a skunk and then the candy one.
The candy one's the one I have.
I can attest to that lemon Jeffrey. I got to try that once, and it was phenomenal. It did a great job on that. That's still, it's funny. We were sitting there having a sesh, and somebody came in the room, and he was all the way across the room, pulled out a bag of weed, and I was like, "Hold on, what's that?" I could see it from like across the room that it was something special. You know what I mean? And then you did a phenomenal job on that. It was great. It was really, really nice. I just had to chip in and say that real quick.
No, that's cool. The one that I had to get rid of, which I didn't want to, was the Morning Dew. That she stinks.
You gave me
dude.
the morning dew. You gave me some morning dew beans. That's what I got. Don't.
Good luck. She stinks, dude. Make sure your carbon filter's on par, because you'll come through the freaking front door and be like,
We ain't
"Hey!"
using one. We're in Michigan. We don't use them. So
Oh, okay. So you'll be fine. But she's still just a stinky. She's really stinky. And he even says it in his strain description, which, you know, but I just had to do it.
what were you saying again about the purple, to get the purple out that you use? So I'm trying to write
Alfalfa
this
meal.
down.
The alfalfa meal.
And you just like top dress with that, or do you put it in your?
I put it in my soil.
You don't add extra alfalfa meal later in flour, right? You just
I don't
add
add
it to your
anything.
soil.
All
so
I
you're
do is
running,
use
you're running
water.
a pot from start to finish.
Yep.
Okay, because I was gonna say, you know, I'm running, you know, like a perpetual pot. You know, I'm running a like no-till system that's gonna take care of itself. And when, you know, you start re-amending those things, you know, towards later in the life, or, you know, if you start running into deficiencies in your top dressing and things, you don't want to use that alfalfa, because later in the stage, as it's flowering, if that stuff starts breaking down, it starts affecting, you know, the production of the flower. So I just wanted to kind of clarify that. Yeah, you're not throwing that stuff in, you know, after, or, you know, before flour or anything. You're just using that in your original mix.
Absolutely.
Putting it in your mix prior
Yep.
to.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're
Amending
you know,
everything.
you were talking about your molasses and your sweeteners and stuff. And for me, I mean, when you talk about your molasses and sweeteners, you're doing that to help feed your microbe life there to get
Right.
your stuff. So yeah, I can see, you know, you're doing more of a quick system, a one shot, you know, and then you'll take your dirt and go somewhere else with it. So yeah, I like those super soil systems. You know, it's still like a living soil, but it's still, you know, it brings out all of the, you know, the organic side of it, you know, the flavors and everything that we want. So yeah, big back, and, you know, tip of my hat to you, because I love the
Yeah, and I do not reuse the soil, but I reuse half of it, let's say. So like if I have 5-gallon pots downstairs, say, or upstairs, say I have 4. I'll take 2 of them and bust the root ball all up in a tote. And then I will actually put another bag of just base soil to that. And I'll just use that for veg and clones. I'll reuse it because there's still a little bit of newts in there, but not many people, you know what I mean? The plant's faded completely out. You don't need tons of newts using small clones and small plants. especially if you got your 150 ppm coming out of your tap. That's plenty to keep them alive. Even if you have to supplement a little bit of anything, I will just take like a half a cup of super soil that I've already made that's in a tote and put it on top of the pot and water. That's it. And then within 2 to 3 days, it'll start greening back up. So, when I do pheno hunts from seed in a solo cup, everybody knows that in base soil, within 4 to 6 weeks, they're going to go yellow. Oh boy, what am I supposed to do? So everybody reaches for the Fox Farm bottle or the Botanicare bottle or anything like that. But what I do, Green Bicycles does make a tea, and then you got to bubble it and whatnot. But some people could go that way. But I just top dress. I just top dress with my super soil. It's super simple. I keep it simple, Stoner, 100%. I mean, this is so long in the making to where I got it down to where I work 6 hours a week, and that's it. That's it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm running
with your soil is basically the same thing as top dressing with nutrients at this point. You make such a good, nice, nutrient-rich soil that you're basically throwing either compost or castings on it. Really, is what you're doing. So yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yep, absolutely. And basically, it's just one shot and done, like you said. And then, like the lemon Jeffries, man, some of them go 9-10 weeks, and and he even warns you about it. So, like my lemon Jeffrey, I'll top dress her at week 5 with about, I'd say, a half a gallon to a gallon of super soil, because I just know that she's going to go 9 weeks. I just know because I've already ran her twice, and she likes nitrogen, man. All of them do. Shredder does. See, I have everything from them for some reason. I just fell in love with Iris, so I have pretty much. I got presidential Kush, garlic goat, firefly, prana, double dragon, double dose. I mean, I got every single strain he's got. And then the rare testers too. I got the red pill, the blue pill. I just don't. I have Raphael. I have Leonardo.
Dude, I want that blue pill.
Yeah, well, that's fine. I got 7 seeds. Whenever I pop, and I get my little. I'll pop normally 4 seeds at a time out of like a 7-pack, and if I find a keeper out of the 4, I just have 3 seeds that sit in the box, so I'll just give them away.
And look, if Rasta Jeff does a limited edition auction on Cannabuzz and Advanced 88 is on there bidding, you're not going to get it. Just give up, man. I got in a bidding war with him. He's got them all.
Yeah, I'll flex. And it's not like, anything personal to anybody. It's just if I ain't got it, I'm like, Dave's not here, I'm going to get it. But I talked to him a lot. He's a real good dude. He's on IRE chat and whatnot, but this is about Caribou. So, I want to be able to get that. What is that? Meathead?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's my first pop. So I seen that and I was like, dang.
That's the one that interests me the most out of all the stuff I did, because in my growing experience, about 4.5 years, that's one of the 2 strains that I would like have a real massive heart on for. It turned out really good. And it's a very weird looking strain, like really long, stretchy internodal lengths, 3-bladed leaves, et cetera, but it's got the trichome stacked on trichomes. And then there was like just the nice rock hard buds. And then I had something went intersects in my grow room for a while. It was either Alaskan Thunderfuck or Ghost Train Haze, maybe both. Anyways, I ended up pollinating this meathead, and I just sprouted a few to see what would happen. And like the stuff that I got from that, and I didn't clone any of that stuff. It was just going to be a one-time thing because I was worried about more intersex traits. But so what I have seen from those couple of crosses or whatever inadvertently with the meathead was like freaking phenomenal. We had pink pistils on some of them, which I have never seen personally before. I've seen pictures of it, but I've never seen them until that one. Yeah, and I want to just, yeah, that's what I say to everybody. If you've got my seeds and you have something with meathead in there, that's the first one you want to try. Everything else literally is just put A and B together, see what happens.
Well, I got some of your meatheads Terp sent me, so I'm gonna grow some of them then over at the big property.
Yeah, it's like I said, the meathead came from in-house genetics. That was some testers my buddy Myrtle Man got, and I got like 5 of them. This was the only one that germinated or survived the solo cup stage, whatever happened there. And it was just at the end of harvest, I got like not even a quarter, I don't think. And so you're like, oh, you're thinking this plant's already not going to make the cut, but then you go to sample it and you're just like, oh, I think there's something here. And you're like, damn, I'm glad I cut a bunch of clones off those. And then, yeah, it's here. I love it.
Yeah, I enjoy that, but I'm not too, informative on these new guys coming up like Long Beach Reefer and Masonic and Thug Pug and In-House and all these big names. These all are current to me. I search for like the older stuff, like the God Bud and the Magnum Opus, or the Mango Los or the Acapulco Gold and like the Mazar or the MK Ultras, because I got the MK Ultra times Purple Kush from Brandon Rust, which I would like to pop that.
That's what I'm
But
thinking with some Mazars, bro. Some but they're autos. They're Mazar Auto Double XL is what they're called.
yeah, I'll turn it into double XL. But
I actually have God Bud and Acapulco Gold, but the
yes.
Acapulco Gold is from the 70s. Like the seed was stored.
Yep.
So it's a original strain.
That's exactly what I got. I got them from the old man. Those are good ones.
Yeah, I got one from an old hippie.
I love them guys.
I've got some in a test tube. I just couldn't tell you which one it is.
But like when you listen to the breeding aspect of the breeders that I've collected from, they always kind of learned by themselves. They weren't like the guy that was shown by the head grower of a commercial facility or something like that. These guys were from the other underground that learned the hard way, that kind of stuff, to do it yourselfers and whatnot. And they found out which males would represent the best for their grow. I mean, look at King Solomon, each one of these breeders have their, main stud. Like, look, he had Space Queen, which was Subcool's main one.
I got Space
Fish washed. Yeah, Space Fish is good. I just don't know. I don't want to say it, but are they all washed up polyhybrids these days? Or are they but they are pumping out these 32%. But okay, I've grown them. They do. They pump out great THC and everything, but the weight's not there. What happened? Where did that go? If I throw some Northern Lights or some Cindy 99 in there, you're chunking up to 10 ounces out of a 10 gallon instead of 2 to 3 from, a high resonance strain. So, but they both match up. I mean, like the White Widow, I mean, it dumps white resin everywhere it goes. I mean, it's straight beach sand out of that thing. I just don't, it's, you got to pick the right stuff. I mean, I seen somebody bid that we all know on a pack yesterday, and I'd like to get a look out of that. It's an in-house strain, but because I see they do good work, and Doug Pug did, but I don't have $400 to pay for a damn pack unless it's Irie.
Well, I might have some good news on the Thug Pug front. Myrtle Man, my seed guru guy, he's got some peanut butter breath. I think it's Puya breath or something to that effect, and mule fuel, I think it is, that he wants to give to me for some seed preservation projects. So it's yeah, I'll be breeding all those up to make seeds, and those will be able to make the rounds here to everybody that
I want an S1, my widow. I'll have to get in touch with Caribou on how to do that. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't want to interrupt anything else, if you know what I'm saying. So I want to be able to do that and then send him that. So he will have that so he could cross with that. Because I've never gave that to anybody but one person my whole life.
That'd be cool to get it up here, man. I'll hold on to that. Keep that around
Yep.
for sure.
But
Yeah, that'd be like, that's one of those, like, it would be an honor to do kind of things. And
yeah, I've
like,
never gave it out ever. Never, ever, ever, never, ever, ever, ever. But if I S1'd it and got seeds, I'd give it out then. But a clone's not going to happen. I gave it to one person, and that's because he's a fucking cool dude. You know, he's got a lot of issues like me, but he's a real cool guy. Sweet Yanni. But anything else anybody need to know? I mean, or interested in, or
off the top of my head, I can't think of really anything. Just a few minutes ago, I was looking at the time and thinking, wow, that's just about an hour and a half of just solid knowledge coming out of you. And it's yeah, it's been awesome. Does anybody have anything like on the panel? Does anybody pick up anything in the chat?
I just want to say it's been a real pleasure meeting you and hearing your story. And a couple of quick questions. You CO2 you don't see the value in it. And also I'm curious if you use fabric pots or plastic.
I use regular 5-gallon Home Depot buckets with the handle because I got a bad back and stuff. It's just I can grab it and carry it right out. And
So you're
Jinx,
using, oops, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that, but you're using those plastic buckets and you're using that super soil. Do you find it important to keep that moisture level up, and that's why you would rather use a bucket over the fabric pot?
I've used fabric pots before, and they're a bitch to wash. So I just take a shower and rinse out my 5-gallon bucket with a little bleach water, and it's done deal, man. I keep it simple. Them fabric pots will get all that white buildup on the bottom, and you can't really bottom feed well with them. I threw them all away, and then went back to the 5-gallon pots, and my yield actually increases in the 5-gallon pots for some reason. I mean, they're tall. So basically, if you take a 7-gallon short boy pot and you stick the 5-gallon in it, the 5-gallon pot sticks 2 to 3 inches above the 7-gallon. You can only stick a finger in it. So it's basically like a 7-gallon pot if you think about it. And Jinx Proof always used a 7-gallon pot. Subcool always used a 5-gallon or 7-gallon pot, plastic. So I just stuck with that. And it just seems like if it's not broke, don't fix it. And no holes are in the side. You know what I mean? They don't have the bottom holes like a regular pot does. It has the 4 holes in the bottom. I drill mine in the bottom. So the gnats or whatever, they can't get in that bottom and sit there and, crawl on that bottom of that pot. If you guys know what I'm talking about, and go in and out of them little holes. The 5-gallon pot sits on the floor. I mean, you could take a little 1/8-inch drill bit and shave a little bit around the edge of the 5-gallon so water will transfer in and out of that 5-gallon bucket just fine. Gnats won't. They'll get drowned. So just little stuff like that along the way. This is the stuff that I'll drop,
So awesome to hear this from you, bro, to hear you talk about this stuff, man, and how you do everything, because your plants all do look beautiful, man. And you do like the purple. That's so cool, because I was always curious on if you went low with your temperature as well. And then the trick that you're talking about, tell me what that was again.
I just add alfalfa meal into my mix. Alfalfa, neem meal. You know what? I'll actually just on my page on Caribou, I'll just post my mix. I think 71 DPO's got it. I'll just post it. I can. I mean,
Post it too,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. I'll just have him do it. I'm not really super awesome with the internet. I mean, I could take a picture and post it, but I don't know how to really paste and stuff like my wife knows how to do. If you guys know what I'm talking about, paste and share and like and all that, whatever. But she'll be able, or 71, can you take care of that? You have that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll
see,
send
look,
it. Fine.
simple.
I'll get it. Yeah.
Thank you. But
Yeah, no worries.
that's a
Thank you for sharing the recipe. I mean,
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
yeah, and then even the charge pack that TGA Will is out selling now on his page. His name is TGA Will. It's $150 for a 20-pound bag of it, and it's like 2 pounds, and it's the same mix I use.
Yeah.
But he doesn't use, because where you're at and where I'm at, our water's the same. You know what I mean? You got to adjust it to your water and to where you're at in the, wherever you're at in your water quality. You can't just go and take somebody's mix and think it's going to work 100% the first time. Yeah, it's going to work very well, but you got to take notes on, your fade and, what's going on because your water quality or your atmosphere. It's very atmosphere and it's delicate. Let's just say it like that. Just say a lot of people's room fluctuate from 80 degrees to 70. So that's a lot of, humidity, dehumidifying, evaporation, stuff like that. So then you might have to add a little bit of something else into the mix. All this stuff adds up. So you got to take note to all that. But if you're running the same temps as me and you're getting anywhere from 150 to 250 ppm and running anywhere from 7.8 to 6 out of your tap, my mix is going to work for you. It's tried and true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely, that's why I'm excited to get off kind of the bottles and stuff as well, just because it's like that's so just time consuming and tedious, and it's like it's just so easy to mess something up along the way. And so and then not only that, hearing testimonials from you and other people that have been in the game for a long time and finding stuff that works for the area, because that's one thing I'm noticing. Everybody grows different cannabis, and it's really about your area and your environments and stuff like that. So
yeah, I got to thinking about when he was talking about his guys, early when he first started, getting with the Oregon or the Miracle Grow and, stealing the bulbs and stuff. Those are the guys I came up with. And hell, I know a lot of those guys still so deep in Prohibition, they're still growing Miracle Grow in blue crystals and water. And I mean, hell, I got one of my favorite guys. He's growing with all T5 bulbs, or not T5, the little curly Q, CFLs. And he's got like 700 watts of CFLs in a closet grown with Miracle Grow. And he will grow some of the most gorgeous bushes you've ever seen, but they just don't have the ass behind them and no flavor.
Yep. And the flavor comes in with the mix. And the neem seed oil keeps pests away. I use insect frass if I need to, and that deters pests as well. And a lot of people are always like gnats and gnats. Gnats aren't really horrible. I mean, they're not really horrible. They're a nuisance is what they are. They're not going to kill your plant. They're more of a nuisance than anything. They like to eat the top 2 inches of your plant, but I see a lot of guys throwing the rice hulls down and that kind of stuff. So you got to watch which ones you put down, because when you top water on them, you could be putting other stuff in there, because who knows what you're rinsing off of them rice hulls. But that's like the people that put rocks from outside on top of their pots, or lava rocks or whatnot. All the minerals are going right in there, man. You screw it up. So that's why I just use straight. Oh, and then another thing I do around the base, I kind of make like a little mound on my 5 gallons. So when I water, the water just doesn't go straight to the stalk. It goes to the outside of the 5-gallon pot, so the roots have to search for it. If that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So when I transplant into my 5-gallon pot, I put a little mound around the stalk so the water goes away.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever really worried about that part. And I mean, a lot of times those guys who are using a lot of the sand or the rice hulls or those top mixes to stop their gnats and stuff, a lot of those guys are bottom watering anyway. So, they shouldn't be washing shit off into that. And you shouldn't be top watering in if you're trying to stop gnats, in your top anyway.
My autos.
Yeah, right. Those are the guys. I got mosquito dunks just sitting in my reservoir.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you don't want to, if you're going through all those precautions to try to stop your gnats, man, stop top water, bottom water that stuff. You might actually find out you really like bottom watering.
You see, exactly. Hit it on the head. And exactly when it's time of the year too. Different times of the year you want to bottom water and top water as well. So like in the summer months, I'm a bottom feeder all the time. I'll top water maybe once a week. In the winter months, I'll do the top water and then the bottom. That's because in the summer it's hot, man. They just chew up the water. In the wintertime out here, they don't like to be watered very much. I could tell by the leaves. If you're getting your VPD per day, you're going to see them go down. When your 12 hours are up, you're going to see those leaves drop. You wake up in the morning, they're praying up to the sky. You're watering right. That has nothing to do with feeding. A lot of people, and I do not spray my plants. A lot of people like to foliar spray their plants. I don't foliar spray at all. I don't ever spray my plants unless I have to. And if I do, it's azomite, not azomite. It's actinovate. And it's like a bacteria that goes on the leaves to help with powdery mildew or whatnot. But knock on wood, if you're environmentally fine and you're not going out and cutting your grass and then going straight into your room, you're not going to have powdery mildew or bugs. So rule number one for everybody, before you go into your room or anything, make sure you take a shower. Don't be, make sure you have basement shoes or, grow room shoes or whatnot, or precautions. Don't be going out for a hike and then coming home, not a very good idea.
You would hate my grow, brother. You would hate my grow.
I was gonna say my studio is mine. I have a tent though, so I might just need to just run straight to the bathroom. Do not pass go.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I gotta get straight there. Straight
I know. My bed is right next to my one tent, but my other grow is like how it's gonna be how like Indica Bees is, which you got to suit up and shit before you go.
Yeah, I go full and suit up. I got a sign on my door down there, man. Even though I don't allow anybody in there, but it's just there, for purposes down the road when we do open this real business. We're all there mentally. We have it in our heads, and my wife gets it. But yeah, you gotta wash your hands, man. You gotta sanitize your hands. You walk in, sanitize your hands again. Put a pair of gloves on. Put your coat on, put your hairnet on. I already have shoes for down there, and I actually have a pair of pants I bought that stay in that room. And that's it. And then you hand sanitize again, man, and then you can do what you want, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm very strict. I'm very, very strict. And in almost 2 years now that I've been here, built out, I've never had a pest down there ever. So you could eat
That's
off.
why I don't post on your page, brother.
Yeah, I know, man. Much love, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I've lived by that since day one. And when we do go greenhouse wise, I'm gonna live by that as well in the greenhouse. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's just plain and simple, man. And I feel like that will save us in the end tremendously too. So
dude, that's why my business partner lost his last crop because of pests. So that's gonna be the
and not to keep on going, but the one last thing for me, anything that comes in, it goes through a process, man. I don't care if it's the bottle of EM1, whatever it is. I dip it in Clorox, a bottle of warm water in Clorox, man. I let it sit, and then I spray it down with alcohol, wipe it, and then when I get into when it comes from my outside, like lung room, we'll call it, into the grow room, I hit it with alcohol again, and then it can go on a storage shelf. Like I am so precise, man, with stuff, how it comes in and out of there. And like I said, knock on wood, I have your usual fungus, gnats and shit to time. And, I have a strict IPM for that. And it's in a matter of a couple of days, they're fucking gone. And like Fluffkin says, I just don't top feed for a little while. And yeah, they're gone, man. You know what I mean? It's things like that. But I think being so strict, yes, it's more time consuming and it can be more of a pain in the ass, but it will save your ass in the end, I feel like.
I agree 100% with you, man. That's why, like I said, I don't post on your page because there's nothing to say. It's already done.
Thank you, brother.
So
that means a lot, man. That really does mean a lot, brother.
I've learned a lot from it too, bro. And that's kind of what I'm basing our, clean room off of, is how you did yours, man, because that's a fucking
Thank
great.
you, man. Yeah,
great
absolutely.
way, bro.
I feel like if you can do that, man, everything else will come by, come as needed, man. And you're just going to be that much more successful through every harvest, every grow, no matter what you're doing, every clone, man, every cut, you name it, you're just going to be that much more successful every time,
Yeah, my clean room's the laundry room.
Yeah, same here, man. That's
room.
where mine is too. Yeah, my wife's got her little spot. I built her, so it's kind of contained, man. And she's just as she's a Hispanic woman, so she's probably one of the cleanest women out there, man. Like, I mean, she's a clean freak, dude. So I'm blessed for that, and she keeps it very clean down there. So it's a very nice process, down there. And like I said,
And she could whoop you down.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I get scared of her some days. Let me tell you, man. She's only she's 4'6", man. Yeah, 4'6", and let me tell you, she scares me some days. So
yeah, keep the knives away from her, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But no, and I'm blessed to have her by my side because she's just as dedicated as I am. So.
Oh, you have a great setup and a great future ahead of you with that, because
thank you, man.
Cleanliness is, next to godliness. And it always is.
Said that to me. Yep.
Yeah, and it's always that when it comes to cannabis, because the plants do take on dust and they take on particles and stuff like that when there's fans blowing from intake and out, you know what I mean? So doing it that way, like we do it, there's very minimum dust. Like we don't have that going on, other than that, it gets picked up by the carbon scrubber. Make sure you guys stay up on, cleaning, scrubbing that, making sure your lights are clean. I'm pretty sure he's on a routine every, couple weeks, go through your room and mop and sweep, bleach, clean the floor, yada, yada.
Weekly routines, man. I actually have a checklist that I hold me and my wife obligated to in a binder. So we get used to when we go to state-wise, we're used to, because everything's going to have to be data logged. If not, you're fucked. Where any type of IPM that gets sprayed, you have to write down what it is, what the ratio is, etc. And we have a weekly chore list, man, where every pH meter gets calibrated, cleaned, ppm meter, dehumidifiers get clean, water tanks gets drained, gets cleaned, and gets refilled. Floors get mopped, walls get wiped. I stay away from a lot of the, we'll say, maybe harsh chemical stuff wise inside my grow room. So I got like Clorox wipes and stuff that I'll hit the floor with. So I'm not, getting the chemicals all over while they're in flower and shit like that,
Oh, so you got Eagle 20? Just kidding.
So yeah, no, I'm just, yeah. So, I have a very strict protocol for that, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, that back in the day, that was a good touch on that, because back in the day, man, that's all they had. They had that freaking Eagle 20. You got PM here, shoot it with Eagle 20. And then they had what's that other stuff? As it was something for mites, and it was
Azamat.
like Avid, man, Avid or Actimectin or something, and that stuff would just kill a dude. If you didn't glove up, mask up, put a freaking hazmat suit on, it smelled like burnt rubber in the room. And then we didn't know better back then, though. This was when that stuff first came out. Nobody had internet. There was no scientific studies on that. So lucky for me, if I ever had to spray anything, I always sprayed in veg. But, God, bless that I'm not sick or anything from using them back in the day. They did come out of regimen, let's say, like in 2006. That's when all of them came out saying that shit's bad for everybody. California Bandit. You can't even get that shit anymore. But then, listen to Rasta Jeff and his commercial grows and be an OMRI, the Venerate and the Pyganic Pro, or that Canna Control by Mammoth. All three of those are very good pesticides for an organic grow that won't kill a bunch of shit and work fine in a 1-2 punch if you have anything. If you have mites, aphids, anything, they're gone. But first, like Terp said, or anybody else, use your microzide, use your predator mites, and your nematodes. Nematodes are key. Order a pack of nematodes, wash it into your super soil. You ain't gonna have gnat. You ain't gonna have one gnat flying around ever. I even gave Johnny the BTI. It's called natural. That stuff works wonders, so he don't got any gnats, it's just, that's the stuff that he had to have to use because, it's super easy to use, and doing the other ways, he's, just learning. So I'm trying to teach him one step at a time, and I'm trying to have him, maybe step on his feet a little bit, throughout the way, because I'm not going to give him 20 years of knowledge all in one shot. You know what I mean? But so I leave him alone. I leave him alone for a couple weeks. I leave him alone for a couple weeks and see how he's doing. And then he posts a picture, and I'm like, "Well, you're just doing fine. What do you even need me for?" He's killing it.
Yeah, Johnny funny, man. You get all the messages from him. And,
He's a good dude, man.
He'll be asking
Shout out,
questions he already knows about.
What was
Johnny
that?
hits me up with every question he's ever has. We talk like for probably like 6:37 in the morning until God knows what time. He will hit me up every day.
Is that Prophet?
Yeah. Hey man,
what's
what's
up,
up?
brother?
Hey.
What's up, brother? Hey, he's a good dude too.
I heard a lot of good things about you, man.
Yeah.
Glad to finally actually meet you or hear from you.
Yeah, he can't wait to get that. He's super stoked, brother. He's like, oh yeah, Prophet. I was like, all right, that's fine, man. That'll work. So
Yeah,
now I have to go over there. Now I got to go over there and run a 8 gauge coming out of his main box, and then run him a 50 amp sub panel so he could do his thing.
Oh, because of because of what I'm sending.
Yeah, I know what's up. I know how to do all that.
Yeah. No, he just has to wait until next month because I realize it's fucking February. It's Valentine's Day for both my wife and my girl. 3 days after that is my girl's birthday. 3 days after that is my wife's birthday. So financially, I am strapped. February fucks me. So right after that,
we're patient.
I love you, dog.
We're all patient.
You're doing it all for love, man.
Yeah, I know. I just hate when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna send that. That's even with Fluffy and stuff. I was just like, I'm sending that, and then like they're like, oh, Valentine's Day, and I'm like, oh shit, it's February. God damn it.
You know what? We know where to find you.
Yeah.
We know where to find you. I'm just kidding.
Hey,
Johnny
man, don't worry.
does.
I looked at my calendar this morning and I seen it right there, like, oh, Family Day, Valentine's Day. I was like, oh shit. And I went downstairs. I was like, hey, babe, Mom, hey, happy Valentine's Day. She's like, oh, you just thought now? I was like, oh shit,
Oh boy.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mine sleep late. They're not even up yet, dude. I don't have to worry about that till 2:00 this afternoon, probably.
I tried being nice and like being the first person and wait until like midnight to be the first person to tell somebody, and I did it the wrong day. So
And I wanted to touch
punched
on,
if I woke my girl up to do that.
I wanted to touch on safety first too, y'all. If you guys are, make sure all wires are up, make sure you're using 20 amp breakers per big light. I'm sure you guys already all know all this crap, but I like to just keep telling people, wear gloves when you're around touching your plants, or long sleeves, because it can burn. Some plants do give people burns or because it's just that's their defense mechanism. I get in there, I get scratchy a little bit.
Yeah.
But I use gloves when I stem rub and stuff like that, or when I'm just anything touching is sterilized and stuff like that. But when it comes to like watering and everything, if you ain't flooded your room, you ain't grown long enough.
I've
So,
done
you
that.
know.
I had
me and you were talking
I've
about
done
that
that
the
twice
other day.
I had water to my knees, man,
That shit sucks.
in
That's what I
in
mean.
my
Make sure
basement,
the
man.
water's up. Make
Yep.
sure all wires
Bro,
are up,
just
blah,
had
blah,
that
blah.
happen.
I did I did the ultimate stoner thing, you know. I started filling a bucket, got a text, was told I had to leave, walked away, and the faucet was running for 2 hours. And when I came back, yeah, there was a lot of water.
Yep. I've done
Bro,
it. I got
that's what happened
submersible.
to me. It was like
Amen. Done that,
260
man.
gallons. 260 gallons and my drain wasn't working. So, yeah, I came back and my business partner's like, yeah, I was wondering why the water was running different in the house. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Because the water was on. It came unfrozen because we had a warmer day. So it just, the valve was open apparently. And then, you know, the water released and it just fucking gushing everywhere, man. We got them tanks, both the tanks, each corners just fucking filling, just overflowing for hours and hours and hours. So, yeah, this just happened to me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's another reason with those stealth ROs with them hoses, man. If one of them lines break, oh shit. That's why I run everything in PVC right to those Omnis. Everything's done in PVC, glued fittings, you know, with unions and ball valves. You know, pool man, you know, that kind of shit.
nope, I quit all water
All
except for what I need to feed my plants. I pull that and that's it. I'm not risking it anything.
Yeah,
I was
you
just
got it
gonna
down
say,
to a science. 20
Yeah.
gallons every day.
That's it, man. I know exactly what I need. I pull it out of my sub pump because it's I find it has, you know, the minerals and everything you were mentioning earlier. And because it's ground filtered, you know, it's in my basement, so I just pull it out of there. And yeah, friggin' I only take really a little bit more than what I probably need. I ain't risking that at all ever again in any type of way, shape, or form. If I'm
Yeah, I
spilling
refuse
anything,
to-
it's only 20 gallons. At most, it'd be 20 gallons, and I'd have to knock over 5 bottles, you know, like
Right.
going there drunk.
The
Yeah, I
horrible thing
refuse
is,
to
this thing
run
just happened to me
water.
again 2 times. This happened like 3 days, like, you know, it happened once and then it happened, you know, 3 days later it fucking happened again. I'm like, what the? I'm not there all the time, so
You should get yourself a
I need to like
55-gallon drum to catch that.
We got 215-gallon tanks, but they're fucking overflowing because somebody would leave the valve on that shouldn't have been left on.
Right.
You'll remember. You'll learn.
Happy Valentine's Day, baby.
Yeah.
Little
Good to see
further
you.
on safety. Good to have a hardwired smoke alarm, fire extinguishers. These are all good.
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
he was talking about running 1,000 watt, and I will not run 1,000 watt unless it has an independent breaker directly single line from the box. Like, I will not risk it in any way, shape, or form.
Yep. Each one of my thousands has its own 20 amp separate breaker.
Yep.
You know it. And they're all wired directly into a big sub panel box because I'm a pool guy, right into intermatic timers.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's all legit.
That's how ours
Yeah. Mine's in the big full, it connects to the big full block, you know,
Yeah, the Titan
outlet.
4, like
Yes.
the Titan Apollo. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah, same shit.
Yeah. I'm very, very, very anal about that. Like, I don't mess around with electricity, you know?
Nope. And everything's 220 pulled into there, but I use 110 out the box, if that makes sense. I only
Yes,
do that.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Because 220, we could have an argument. Everybody could have an argument with an electrician all day about 220 and 110. Doesn't matter. Electricity is electricity. You're going to get paid for it no matter what. 220 is just going to make that ballast run maybe a little more cooler.
Yeah.
But it's still going to do the same shit.
Yep. I mean, 90% of the stuff runs off of 110 anyway. So,
Yep.
you know, I just can, I have it, you know, my uncle is a master electrician, thank God. It saves me a lot of time and money, believe me. So
Yep.
I'm not an electrical genius, but, you know, like I said, I've always been specific about having a separate breaker for every 1,000-watt light.
Right.
Any major thing too, like even if I was running a room with a heater, freaking portable 38,000-watt BTU freaking AC, and the intakes and everything else, those got their own block and breaker as well. Yep. Like just trying not to burn the house down.
No,
because we end up running a lot of power sometimes, especially if you actually seal off a room and then you have to try to maintain that room's environment. It can get real expensive. And if you start putting a lot of lights in there, man, it pushes off heat. You got to push off an AC. It's got to push off fans, and it just becomes, people are talking about their electric bills, and I've been up there, and
$4,000 during the month.
It's nauseating, dude.
That's 25 double-ended.
I've had real drug addictions and never had a bill like that. All right, and that's terrifying.
Mine runs around 280 every month. 225 to 2.
I used to be at 6 when I was at my highest peak, but I've brought myself down to a comfortable, just for me, 1,000 watts, and I'm running maybe 150. With everything.
And another thing I do, which will maybe be a little different than other people, is I don't run at night. I run during the day.
Me too.
Even though I'm in the Midwest, I just run during the day because light leaks at night. I mean, I was down at the back 40 one day and out in the middle of the night, and you could see that little yellow line at the base of the porch to the seam of the foundation, and I was like, oh, they're going on for days.
Yeah, see, my problem was
shit off.
If I was sleeping and I had the lights going on at night, if something went wrong, I didn't know anything about it, So now, since it's happened to me before, I keep mine running. But the reason I did at night is because it's low peak hours, and you guys that are doing a bigger grow might want to be interested in this. It's cheaper on your electric bill because the daytime is high peak hours and they charge you more for electricity. So nighttime is cheaper, along with the might be the weekends as well, which is why I was running at night, because of how much I was running.
Yep. You save a ton of money.
You can, but I all my automated shit at some point, a light switch would go and it wouldn't turn my lights off, and I wouldn't find out about it till I woke up in the morning and my fucking lights are still on, or I was running the brain bucket and that would trip, and it either keep the water in the reservoir for 10 hours, or it'd keep it in the with the plants for 10 hours with no circulation of air, and it basically suffocating, So I
got so many bogus lights here in my home grow that hooked up right now, and then I have supplemental. Like as we were just sitting here, my fucking breaker tripped on one of my little power strips. Like I need to get a fucking another power strip to plug in there, something different, because I can't have that shit happen. That can't happen. Turn off and on like that.
No, you just got to find out which. Yeah, you got to find out which breaker that goes to, and then tie it into like a back bedroom or something that you ain't running really nothing in there but a TV or a fan.
It's a trailer.
I know.
I got everything on this side, bro, and probably the whole fucking, most of the power coming out of this side. Like I got, I don't know, probably 8 lights in there that are going. So I'm trying to actually pull from the bathroom and like another fucking down the way, like you were saying too. So I don't do
I hear you.
If I do press, I'm fucked. It'll trip it if I try to turn my press on right now.
Yeah, you got to put some no faults in that box of yours. But
Cariboo Hart TV.
Back on the water, like Prophet was saying something. I wanted to touch on water. I actually, living where I'm at, before I water, when I fill up my trough, I use a fish tank heater set at 72 degrees, because the water coming out of the tap is like 55, 60. So it'll shock the shit out of your plant if you just go ahead and just water with that. So I fill up my trough and I wait, say 4 hours, and then I go and check out, the fish tank heater and make sure the light went off. And if the light went off, then I know the water is at 72 degrees. If I water with anything lower than that, the plants just, they don't like it. They just don't like it. Do not just water straight out your tap. Let your water sit out. Use a fish tank heater. Let it sit out for 24 hours. Let it bubble. Do all that stuff, which I'm sure you guys all do. Just wanted to just touch on that a little bit. Lighting. I always go back to the books. I go back to 6,500K for veg and 2,100 to 3,500K for flower, 30 to 50 watts per square foot, all that stuff is the stuff I go by. I go by a gallon of medium per foot of plant. So all that stuff. And a lot of people think, more, bigger pots, bigger fruits. I just think less is more. This is a weed. This is a plant. It likes to do its own thing. So if you just keep it simple, stoners, it's such an amazing thing. Like I said, I only put in about 6 hours a week, guys. That's it. I mean, I didn't do nothing down there today. I didn't do shit today,
I do
I don't
6
have to water.
every 2 days here in my home grow, bro.
Right. Yeah. So, they like to be left alone. There's some days I just don't even go in there. Just leave them be. And you leave town for 3 days, come back, and you're like, dang, what the heck happened in there? This is like crazy. But I just go by them old rules like that. You could grow fine plants and veg with T5s or sun blazes or compact fluorescents. But now the new ones that come out, like the HLG 100s or the Spider Farmer PB 2000s and stuff like that, those are all great, I think, for veg. But when it comes to flower, I still have to stick with a HPS for the win for right now until I'm able to have a couple $1,000s sitting around so I could put 4 of them in there. You know what I mean? Nobody's really going to be dropping all that, because expenses come up.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I have a.
Do it, but like you said, it's upfront cost is killer, man.
It is upfront killer is yeah, one at a time. Every good thing come to those who wait. I believe in all of that kind of stuff, and I take everything one day at a time. I'm 13 years sober from alcohol.
Congrats, brother. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm still on a freaking huge med list, man. I got Crohn's disease, and I just got diagnosed with that. I have the OCD, the ADHD, and all that shit. But you guys probably caught that, a little bit with the jumping all over the place. But you guys get the gist of everything, I'm sure.
My mother, she has Crohn's disease. She's had it since we were really young. She's had it pretty severe. She's done everything from like stem cell transplants, and she just actually got like her thyroid removed like a couple years ago. But ever since she's done that, it's been helping out. But a lot of it, best thing is diet. Diet really helps. Like from what I've heard, stuff like that.
Yeah. They put me on a steroid the other day, and she'll hold me to change my whole. Yeah, it's the same, almost the same thing, but it's different. It's like Bucidine. It's same shit. It's like prednisone.
Yeah.
I don't like the way it makes me feel or anything like that.
It might make you a little angry. We couldn't like argue with my mom in the kitchen or anything like sharp objects. We couldn't argue with her around, intended to love you, Mom. Happy Valentine's Day. But,
yeah, right.
She's wonderful. So no, totally, I'm sorry you're going through that, but more power to you.
Yeah, no, it's just life's thing, I guess. You got to deal with the hand that you're dealt, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt.
But I did do a lot of bad shit.
Well, I mean, you exude nothing but positivity, especially with what happened to you with that that mishap on cannabis, unfortunately, with that spaced out or whatever. You handled that really well, instead of going in on the guy and calling him any sort of, crazy names or anything like that. And you handle it really smooth, and that shows other people how to kind of handle things too. That might have handled it differently.
Yeah, there's
I'm into that.
nothing but respect in this community. There's no need for any name calling or this or that or disagreement in anything on how anybody's doing anything. Everything could just be talked through, because everybody has an opinion on how they do things or how they want to do things, and they ask questions about things. And some people might steer somebody one way, someone might steer the other way. Then I'll just jump on the page and I'll just say, hey, you do you, and you could try both ways, and whichever works for you, man, do it.
Rock it out, right? Yeah.
Yeah, just do it. But it's kind of, I want to just touch back on like the pheno hunting. That's like, I'm like super proud of pheno hunting. I like popping six of each of something, and then finding females and males. I believe that the first ones to show female that are short and stocky tend to be the best. It's always like the first one or the second one to show female is the best pheno that you're going to get out of that seed or out of them seeds. And then the last male that shows itself, he's going to be the best dude to use. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what I've noticed in my experience in doing it forever. Like, I pop seeds after seeds after seeds, and it's always the first short, stocky, nice, compacted females to show are the best ones. I mean, look at my Mendel Doe, look at the Canadental times the rise, or my Black Cherry Chem or the Jilly Bean. Those were all the first 1 to 2 to show female. And then the rest that show female, I give to Johnny. And then he gets fire ones, and they're super fire. And I'm like, did you take loans of that or whatever? But, shit happens. But I just tend to see that works the best. So what do you guys think on that? Am I wrong, or am I that's just maybe just the way I do things?
Just about to start doing it.
Go ahead, buddy.
Well,
Okay, so here's my thought. Like in real life, usually the male comes faster than the female. Okay, just thought I'd throw that in.
that seemed to have been the case for me too.
Speak for yourself, man.
Yeah, they do. Then they shoot up real fast too. They shoot up fast, tall, thin, them guys. But I'm saying, the first females to show sex that are short and stocky tend to be the best phenols that I believe. But the males, yeah, they show sex maybe first, but they're the tall, lanky, but the last one of the males to show their balls is best breeding stock. That's what Rasta Jeff says, but who knows?
Well, I've noticed males grow extremely tall, fast compared to a female. Like,
oh yeah.
And I believe the reason behind that is they got to be taller, because when they release their pollen, it's got to be considered higher up in the air for it to actually gain any distance.
Right.
So when you got a plant that just seems to be growing, I got other ways of figuring out whether it's a male or a female pretty quickly. Like the male plant, if you touch its leaves, it'll smell like a plant. If you take a female and you rub its leaves and you smell it, it'll actually smell like the strain of cannabis for the most part. So, but I kill males. I ain't got the room for them. I'm not even trying to play with them. So, that's just the reason why I determine which is which as quickly as possible, even from seed,
Yeah. So do I. They get the axe right away.
Yeah.
But
I wish
the
I had
females,
for male though. I wish I did to collect some pollen from something like that, to try something.
I'll send you a link
of
a way to do it without having pollen anywhere. Yeah.
I've heard
But I
you can
just
pull
enjoy
a
it.
couple of them and put them in like a jar and keep them in the freezer. And then the way to do it is you break it up and you use a little paintbrush and you kind of wipe it on one of the colas or whatever, and you could partially pollinate the plant as opposed to exposing your whole room to it. But it's not something I'm
I've heard
trying.
that as well.
Yeah, I've seen people do it. You know, I've seen people do it, but I'm still not messing with it.
I've seen somebody brush like one branch with like in the method you're talking about, but with like several different strains of male, you know what I mean, on one branch.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
It's kind of like a splicing they're doing or something.
I'll just send all my keepers to Caribou. He'll take care of them.
Sorry, I'm just trying to reach out to someone here. And
No, and then the other reason is just it's so dang expensive. I mean, even when I got my card and would go to the store, I mean, they want outrageous prices. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
If I go and I get some, butter or whatnot, or what Rob's got right there, I mean, I'm spending $100
Same in Michigan, about $90 to $100.
with a med card too, which is sick. And then it comes in a real fancy jar that probably costs them $25.
It's all waste. Yeah, they waste so much with the packaging and everything. I preach it all the time. You know, it's crazy. You know, especially for like supposed to be a green industry. You know,
Yeah, I
that was one
got
reason.
lucky early on because right off rip, I learned how to make shatter. Like I had access to, all the equipment for the most part. So, I got spoiled real quick. And, for me to spend that amount on any of that when I can get it for the half the price, because I know the plant since the moment's been grown, I help trim it, I help grow it, I help clean the room afterwards most of the time, like I've been involved with it and I get to watch the whole process. Granted, I haven't gone to butter or anything, but it's just another concentrate, So, I mean, yeah, I could never pay what they want ever. I just can't.
I got a question for you, Prophet, and this is something that I'm a flower guy, and I've always been a flower guy. I haven't got into the dabs. I always thought they were a little messy and whatnot, but I did see what Rob has, and I know a press and whatnot. But I've been looking at rosin tech.
I've
is
done
there
a little
good
bit
brand?
of rosin.
No, but is there like a good brand? Like, what are you using, Rob? Is that a squisher or
My own, yeah. I got a Dill Tech. A Dill Tech.
Dill Tech? Write it down.
Dually Tech or Dill Tech is what, yeah. Dually Tech, but it's a 5-ton, dude. And honestly, we wish we would have got like a 7 or a 10. 5 was way too low because I already have a new jack on the way because this jack is fucked up and it'll max out shit on me. So, but yeah, I would definitely, I'd still preach their products, good shit. You know what I'm saying? I just got a too small of their, this is a new one too, a new addition to their line. So, but I think they're going to probably take it off their line because it really isn't that great. I should have got.
But is it okay to like for a beginner like to use?
Fuck yeah, definitely. I'm bitching about it, but it's great. It still is great, dude. I'm gonna tell you that. I've squished like fucking probably a quarter pound in it already.
So the jack you got coming
Not that bad.
Well, then if you get a new one, then we'll talk. If you know what I mean.
For sure.
The jack you have coming is bigger, heavier.
No, it's the same one. I think this one just was defective. The valve was releasing on it when it shouldn't had. So
yeah, it's a bad
we'll see.
jack.
Hopefully the next one is better. If not, then I'm gonna, definitely be upgrading. But it did squish a lot of shit. Y'all seen how many pucks I had the other day?
Well, Squishy Bob, so.
Yeah, I just would like to get like a nectar collector or something simple.
I had
just
one of those.
Simple to start.
That thing was amazing. The nectar collector, it was so simple.
I think Steve's got something for me, so I'll be able to try to use that. I got to meet up with him, and then he'll explain it all to me. You know what I mean? I'm green, man. I'm green on that subject.
I was green like a month ago, bro, and now I got a new one, and I got another one. Like I'm broke in. I popped my cherry for real.
Yeah, you did it the right way though. You did your own. You know what I mean? You squished your own. Like mad props for that. You know, that's awesome.
Hell yeah. Even the live rosin, man. First time I ever had it was my own. So. Because I won't buy it from the fucking. It's too damn expensive, brother.
We don't even have live rosin or anything like that. We don't even. We have one person doing like dry sift rosin, but it's just trash. So we just have to get that stupid shit sometimes. You know, and overpay sometimes. It's ridiculous. But being a connoisseur, you know, that's why you know I got.
Can we talk about this after?
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just because, you know, I love the best, you know, like that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and it's so inspiring seeing people like y'all come on here and just give us so much knowledge and stuff like that. It's awesome. I really appreciate it. Appreciate your time coming out. Everybody in chat, I really appreciate it as well.
Dude, I'm gonna send you some of this lemon Jeffrey. That shouldn't be hard to send, just like in a fucking envelope or something, right? You know, put in some fucking parchment paper and an envelope. Fuck.
Theoretically, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, it's been I'm not on mute. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. Gotta go. Good to see y'all. Pleasure meeting you, 311. Good to see you again, Prophet. We'll
love you, Rick. Uncle Rick.
Uncle Rick.
Uncle Rick.
Uncle Rick.
Hey, for Halloween, he's got to be Pickle Rick.
Pickle Rick.
How's Johnny doing with after surgery? And he's doing all right. Yeah, I talk to him every once in a while and make sure he's all right. Talk to him about it.
I talked to him earlier today. He's doing all right.
He says he's all right, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's on his way home.
He said something about having he was taking down a deck.
He's good people, man.
Oh, I love Johnny. Sweet Johnny.
Yeah, he's on his way home. I think he had to go move.
Yeah.
He's moving his stepdad back or something.
Yeah, he did post a video of him as the passenger earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs a better phone guy, right?
Yeah, he definitely does. That or less medication.
Yeah, right.
He's like, it didn't shake to me, man. It didn't look shaky at all.
I give props to him though, because he ain't taking any of them pain pills.
Nope, I give props too.
That stuff is bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
he was take any RSO or anything? 311.
No, I did a while back. I used to make it with ball mason jar with sugar glycerin and let it sit for a couple months, and then I would strain it with cheesecloth.
Okay, that's cool. So you just set it and kind of forget it type deal for a while, and
yep,
a new process. I've never heard of that process before.
Yep, and then I've done water ice hash, subcool way with the bag, which I get pretty good return and everything. It's just once again, it's a freaking process.
You ever done the alcohol extraction and then to boil off the alcohol in a rice cooker?
No, I have not.
We're talking making RSO, right?
Yes.
Okay,
you would have to, once you strain that through a cheesecloth, then you cook it off in the crock pot. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
I watched a video of Rick Simpson actually making it.
He's the man.
I've seen that video too.
That's
learn
my
about
method.
If you're gonna learn about it, you might as well go to the guy that made it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep. And he's the one that I use to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, how old is old enough to start something like that? I know this is all opinion based and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I mean, should we talk about that real quick? I mean, like medication wise, that can actually help.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If they're willing to give children hardcore pharmaceuticals, in my opinion, I don't see what the issue is of trying them on that first. But that's just my personal opinion. I don't follow the rule, obviously, because there's repercussions to thinking or doing that. But truthfully, I mean, if they're ready to put them on borderline meth or anything like that, because that's what an amphetamine,
That's
Ritalin, Adderall, and they're willing to put them on painkillers if they're in pain. I mean, why not try it? That's just how I think about it. But
and I was like fucking 10 years old, bro. So maybe I was younger than that.
Mhm.
And that's
I was a guinea pig. I was a guinea pig too, man. They shot me full of freaking Adderall and all that fucking bullshit.
Had electric
Ritalin.
fingers in class and shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
To tell you the truth, it has an opposite effect on some of us with ADHD, man. Like it made us hyper.
Yeah, it makes me want to fucking rip somebody's head off if they broke my concentration. Then I wanted to take their head off, and that's like not good when you're a little kid, But I had made me angry as fuck, man.
I got stuck. I literally couldn't stop staring at something. Like
it made you into a zombie.
I would contemplate what it was made out of, just lost, dude.
Feeling.
I couldn't focus on anything other than one specific thing intently, and I hated it.
Well, I always loved cannabis.
Yeah.
Always, even whatever the fuck was going on in my life, it always was the equalizer. Cannabis always kind of.
Yeah, what's up?
Whoop whoop.
Nice. Ben once since the Carnival of Carnage, man.
Yeah, I've been to 2 gatherings.
Have you? I got to go to the last one they had in my town, but they destroyed the show pretty bad.
Bunch of juggalos in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, baby.
You guys another bunch of juggalos in there.
Nice.
Sweet. But yeah, I just watched that interview with him with Steve-O apologizing to him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Steve-O was being a dick to him one time, but yeah, dude, I've been a freaking ICP fan since I've had all the freaking tapes, brother.
Great Malenko, when that one came out, I think it was like grade 9 or something like that, and that was the album there. It still is to me their best album. But the song Boogie Woogie Woo, man, I got a thumping stereo, whether it's in my truck, whether it's in my house. I've actually got 2 really thumping stereos in the house.
I think that's the Amazing Jekyll Brothers.
That's right. That's the best one.
Yep.
The Amazing Jekyll Brothers. I really liked Hell's Pit, man. I like that. And then when they transitioned to Dark Lotus, they went from kind of funny horror to wicked, and crazy. Their whole entire mood changed.
Still got my Dark Lotus shirt.
Oh, dude, Black Rain is one of my favorite albums put together.
I went to Crop Circles, ABK, Anybody Killer, freaking.
Yeah, you heard Wizard of the Hood?
Yes, sir.
Oh, what an ultimate album, dude! It's a storyline that just is amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great too, man. It's great. With a scarecrow up in the thing was great, dude.
Yep.
Love it.
You just need the homie to smoke with.
Yeah, just need a smoke.
Need the homie to smoke with.
That's it. I love it. Love it. Yeah. I love it.
I went to one of their shows, man, and they soaked us with Faygo, and then at the end they dropped feathers and glitter, right? So we were just you basically were covered in fucking, and I was painted like ABK, right? And I'm walking through basically the ghettos of my city, and I'm painted up like ABK, glittery and fucking covered in feathers, But it was a great show, but they weren't allowed back after that because it was soda dripping from the ceiling, everything, dude. Yeah. The speaker system.
In Kalamazoo, we had one like that too at the stadium, dude. Same thing, but we were not just Faygo. We got soaked in orange Faygo, but not. We didn't get the glitters and feathers.
Oh yeah, it was a small venue, man. I was surprised that they jammed us up in there. So but yeah, there was a ton of us there. Damn. It was great.
That's fucking cool. You put on a hell of a show, though, man. I'll tell you.
I was one of the only people old enough to drink at the bar.
I was just jamming Dime Sack the other day. Dime Sack, I got you back. That's pretty cool song. And then Shaggy 2 Dope with FDF, OF, MF.
I don't know. I had mixed feelings about the Shaggy albums, but the Violent J album was awesome. But the Shaggy one, he's more of a DJ, so that's kind of what it led to. It wasn't more lyrical, in my opinion.
Yep, they're all good though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all love.
Yeah.
You know, just like this growers love we got going on here. This is a great show. That's what brought me here. I mean, I know it just started up like, you know, a couple months ago, but I got drawn to it because I listened to, you know, Rob and Prophet and Indica B and Fluffkins and Druid, you know, and I listened to all you guys talk and, you know, Uncle Rick, and I sit here and listen to Johnny and then Terp, you know, I listened to all you guys and I was like,
You don't need
you
therapy
know,
after that.
this is yeah, I'm not gonna go there, but I do.
You
Now you
elevated.
lost. Yeah, it's all good, dude. He's a good dude. We'll just leave it at that.
Well, I think this shows even as we have more guests on and stuff, like having you on was like amazing. Just so like there's behind the scenes work that goes on, like Stick Pick and Indica B and we had a Zoom meeting yesterday just to start drawing up questions for like possibly you or the Painted Lady show we got coming up and stuff, right? And then you come on and man, you just went. It was like, wow, I wasn't expecting that at all. It was just like, I just sit here and listen and it's like knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb after knowledge bomb. It was just like, wow. So I like my sincere like thank you, man. Like this has just been awesome. And we'd love to have you on more often. Pretty much like anytime, man. And like yeah, this has been great. And like Prophet, we were wanting to get into you a bit today too, but maybe like next Sunday or Friday or something like that, we'll give you a spot where we can really get into your stuff too, man, because like you're interesting as hell too.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'll take it up.
Great. I hear you have a great trick for is it a crystal and predicting male seeds?
Well, I use a pendulum because I dig them, but realistically, you could do it any type of a necklace that has a pendant at the end of it. I've even used dog tags. You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like, yeah, man. Yeah.
Elaborate.
You'll have to tune in.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, be there at
right.
B Square.
I like it. I like it.
Oh, Caribou, I love your shirt. I fucking love Obituary. The Incomplete was probably my favorite album. But I was noticing your shirt.
I was sent a message that I love his.
Obituary. I like either probably Back from the Dead because that was the first Obituary album I heard, or maybe Slowly We Rot. Like
I mean, that's a classic.
Yeah, but I absolutely love them. And so I was thinking, we got Hypothetical Gardener coming on next Sunday. It's going to be another kick-ass show. If you want, Prophet, you can do your crystal thing then, or would you rather do it on the Friday show? And we'll give
we do it on the Friday show. Not a problem. You know.
So everybody that's watching, tune in Friday, and Prophet's going to show you that he can, if you can predict some male seeds and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
That's I think this is going to be cool.
Out of the years I've been doing it,
pick my males and send them back to me. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I could, as crazy as it sounds, I could even do pictures, man. If you give me a picture of a seed, I could tell you what it is. If you give me a picture of the top of your plant, I could tell you what it is. You know, I could even tell you if it's a Hermie. You know, yeah, it's. I'll explain it all when we go into it. You know.
Yep. You got me hooked. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, this is exciting as hell.
Out of everything, like I said, out of the 6 to 7 years I've been doing it, I've only had probably 5 Hermes slip by me. You know, and I get pictures from people from my previous grow group from that when I first started, still to this day, man, and always, what is this? What is this? What is this? And I've been pretty dead on, you know. This is from personal experience. I'm not. You know, somebody wants to refute it, like Terp said, with the science or whatever, I'll hear it. But I mean, I think a lot of science is observation. I've observed this for a long time.
Yeah, this is interesting. I want to see it because it's, if you could actually selectively pick your seeds beforehand, just think of how much. Well, actually, good example. My parents, they got a couple plants growing here. And my dad went to show me his bloom tent, all nice and proud. And before I could even get near it, as soon as he opened the door, that's a male.
Oh,
Right. And he's got a male that's probably about 4 feet tall in that bloom tent, because just not knowing growing regular seeds and wanting to grow big plants, he didn't want the male.
That's my dad too.
Has anyone else got anything else they want to add in before we think about wrapping
You
up?
really covered a lot of. Oh, have you ever done like a outdoor? Do you mess around outdoor at all? Have you? Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have. Yep.
Okay.
I had a boat. I had an Alumacraft 13-foot boat. I live near a river. We'd drive on out, find a spot, clear it with shovels, nice like 15 by 15 area, and shovel it up about a foot deep. And then sprinkle 2 bags of fertilizer like Job's. You go to, a regular store, just grab some Job's and sprinkle like 2 bags all the way in the area, mix it in, and then put your clones right in there, about 50, and just come back in October and see what's there.
Nice, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I was gonna try some of the Mendo. I think that's what, Mendo shit that I got from you. They were beautiful, man. But I was gonna try some of them outside.
They'll go. Everything's pretty good outside. Everything grows good outside. They came from Cali. I believe all great cannabis grows outside. I mean, some outdoors like just as good as indoor. You just gotta like I said, before you go out, you gotta make sure the ground's right. Pick a veg of a cornfield or something, because they've already limed it. And that's good soil that's been there for years, and you could grow trees. We pull up October, they're about 12 foot tall. They're huge. And then you come with the axe, and we've come with 2, duck blinds,
Yep.
or duck bags that your ducks go in. They're like
in.
those big duffel bags. We've come with 3, come back 3 deep full.
Damn. Yeah, all giant fucking coolers.
Yeah, but once again, safety first. You never bring that back to somewhere where you are having something indoors.
That's how my first grow got seeded, was because I went and took care of somebody's outdoor, and we didn't know it had hermed or whatever, had pollen everywhere. So I brought it indoors, and fan sucked it right into my tents, and so I had to cut a little early to keep it from having. Luckily it was towards the end of the flower, but I learned that one firsthand.
Yeah. I take everything that's used and I build raised beds out back. I get 4x4 posts, and I build 4 foot by 10 foot raised beds every year, just for gardening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So all my used soil goes in there. And then one of these years, I'm just going to put one right in there.
Well, see, I was going to use either between a 50 to like maybe even a 200 gallon pot, just a fabric pot, and fill that, put it on a skid, and then once they're, good and vegged, and put them out when I should, and hopefully they turn into fucking trees. Like Mendo dope's supposed to be fucking, they're the keepers of the trees, right?
Yes. In their videos, how they show how they do it, they till the ground underneath. And then some of them tap roots go through the bottom of them smart pots to get nutrients out of them 200 gallons. And then they cage the outside. They do double cages. They do an inner cage, and then they cut the big square out the bottom so you can get in, and then they do a double cage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've tried that. Yep, I've tried that. You get about, when we did it, we got 4 out of it, which is always nice.
That's nice, man. I mean, that's what I'd like to do too, hopefully.
But around here, they now call it where it's got to be enclosed in a fucking gate, got a roof, all that crap. So
yeah, we just got to have it
locked
in a locked area, basically, like in a gated area that's locked in, But
exactly 6 foot privacy fence. Put your garbage cans in there for garbage.
Yeah. I'm excited about it though, because it'd be my first like real grow outdoors, with some good beans. So that's why I've been holding off with them, because them are special. Them are
I put the morning dew out too.
Ooh,
Yeah, I got some. Well, I got morning dew that I'm doing inside my big grow, and I just popped some of them. So I got to go check them Monday, and hopefully I'll have a bunch more of them up, because I put all 6 of them in root cubes,
Yeah.
And when I left Friday, there was one up. So I got like a space bitch, orange gasm, fuck a couple. Oh, the double dose too. I got them from you too. Them are fucking. I planted all them. I got one of them up. That motherfucker was a monster. You should have seen the taproot on that. I just planted that. I put that in a 10-gallon pot. Fucking taproot on that fucking double dose was huge. But
Nice.
yeah, I put that in a. No, I didn't put that in a 10. I put that in a 2 till I sex it, and then I'll put it, in something bigger from there.
Yeah, I want to try my Raphael, but what's Prophet got going? What is he growing?
I think you
What
just picked it
strains
on
you
the
got?
good side.
What am I growing as far as strains?
Yeah.
I got the coffee F3, which I don't think they make anymore. I've had it for like 5 years. I got Grimdica, which I know they don't make anymore, by the brothers Grimm. Had that going for 5 years. But I mean, I have a few people that I hand them out to so I can grab them, back and grow other things. But I also have a chocolate mint cookie. I got 2 headband 818s and 2 wedding cakes and a GMO growing. But in flower, I'm in the middle of chopping a DK orange, which was grown or made by a friend of mine from Mass Medical. So I'm one of the few people probably that really has it, because it's not made anymore. He moved it up to the Pelagius OG, I believe. And then there's what else? It's the other one I got. There might be one more floating around in the mix. I'm sorry, the other one I'm cutting down is the Holy Grail Kush. And so those are the 2 I'm chopping down right now.
Holy Grail Kush looks beautiful, bro. I've seen some around here.
Thank you.
Holy Grail Kush around here too, but they don't look that nice. So
Yeah,
Thank you.
really.
I've that's the 3rd time I've grown that one. I actually let that strain go. I didn't decide to clone it because I got a few too many I like, so I gotta limit that. I don't like having I don't like being ahead. I only do three plants mostly at a time under 1,000 watts. And, I get about a pound, give or take, and I'm happy with it. It doesn't cost me much to grow it. I don't have to put a lot of effort into it, but I put them in big pots so that, they end up growing pretty big. And I got my full canopy covering a Raptor 8, which has a wider hood than a regular enclosed 1,000 watt light.
Yes, sir. That's what I run. Those
I
big
love the
ass-
Raptor. If I wanted to, I could get a dual. I got access, but I'm like, no, I don't feel like paying the electric on that. No, I'm happy
But
where
all
I'm
of them
at.
are fire strains. All of them are fire strains, dude. Dude, all of them are great, like unreleased selective strains that are great, that people search for, shit
It's
that
funny.
people ain't got.
I got them in my drawer. I got God Bud. I got friggin' like that you mentioned. Like I was given a lot of strains, probably like I said, 5 years ago, and I've grown new ones, but I get given clones by a good friend of mine that buys newer ones. So like, I play around with those, but I got really interested in keeping a couple of strains around for a long time. And then when I found out they didn't make them anymore, I was just like, yeah, okay, I can't let them go,
Right. Yeah, because I got Lord Licorice and the Strawberry Daiquiri and Killer Queen and Cuvée and Vanilla Tart and Kush and all them Space Candy, all them from Subcool that nobody could get anymore, like the Vortex. I
Right.
got that still, like I said before, everything from Jinx Proof. Basically, if I like the breeder, I'll just buy every single freaking strain in his inventory.
I really dig Jinx Proof, man. You know, he took the time out to answer a couple questions I had for him on Instagram. You know, I know he's a pretty busy dude, so I know he's very interactive with, you know, the people that try to support him and stuff. And he's a gnarly dude, man. And so yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Yep. And his Gen X are super cheap. It's like $50 for 6 seeds, but he donates actually $20 to $25 of that to Northwest Families for Autism.
So
That's cool.
Amazing.
So the dude's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that speaks volumes right there. You know, it really does, because that's a lot of work that he does that put into those genetics. From what I've seen, you know, I've been following him a little bit more closely lately, and I hear nothing but good things. And I actually tried one of his strains from the dispensary, and everybody was sleeping on that cultivar. You know what I mean? And I saw that they had his Best Friends OG, and I tried that and absolutely loved it. And that's what kind of made me want to turn to some of his genetics on my future projects as well, man. He's just a super solid dude.
Oh, no, you can hit me up. I got every single thing he made.
Yeah,
but like
yeah,
if you go into his, you go onto his website, which I really like about the dude is he does limited editions. So like he'll only, it'll go into, you could go into his strain guide and it'll say strains that are now available, and it'll go to limited edition strains and like Cookie Puss and like everything that's on there. That's the shit I got, you know, because I bought them a couple of years ago. But you know, like the stuff he's got now, like Snap and the other two he just put out, I already snagged them. But it's just, he's an amazing dude.
I like being able to share the love too. You know what I mean? Like show him, hey man, I support the shit you're doing too. Like the few times I've bought beans, you know what I mean, it's from somebody that I kind of, you know what I mean, dug their vibe and what they were doing with it.
Right. Absolutely. Like I was talking about before, I only really will fuck with the breeders that are really cool. I mean, like I've caught a couple breeders on Instagram on lives, like, you know, calling other breeders fat pieces of shit, or they're just powing chunkers and stuff like that. Well, that just made me not want to buy that dude's genetics for some reason. I don't care.
There's no need to put people down, man. You know, there's a piece of pie for everybody, and it should be your product speaks for itself, you know.
Right. But if you're taking somebody's like Ani Seeds, okay, let's just take that for example, and then you take his shit and then you just find a male, and then I understand once it's yours, it belongs to the streets. It's cool. I understand that. But say you take it and you start crossing it and then you don't give the breeder props, you know, about it, you know, that's what turns me off of the breeder. He could at least be like, well, Ani Seeds is the shit. You know, he grows great stuff. He helped me make this and he helped me get me off my feet. I'm using his mail, blah, blah, blah. But I don't hear that anymore. It's like, I don't get to hear that. Like, let's use Burner. Let's use Burner. He stole Subcool Sweet Tea, you know? I mean, come on, dude. The dude died, and then you take his name off the strain and put it on yours and call it your shit.
That's fucked
I mean,
up.
that's karma too. You hear a lot of shit going within his company and stuff, and the product coming out right now. So I mean, you know, it all comes around in the end, and you know.
I don't feed into it. Yeah. I just listen and just do what feels right, if you know what I mean.
Hey, if it's working, you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, you seem to be doing something right.
True that.
Well, I heard someone say Godbud, so we might have to be talking.
Oh, that was me.
I know who it was.
I haven't done anything with the seed since I got it, man. Like I said, it's been like 5 years.
I got like a whole box, brother. So whatever you name, I probably have it. I'll send it.
I've seen it. I've seen part of it. What you showed me, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome.
Yeah, I sit on the auctions too much, you know what I mean? But some of them are so damn, people be sleeping hard on them though, man. Last night there was in-house Divine Storm went for $200. Like someone
what's the craziest price you've seen go so far?
$4,000.
Whoa.
What was it?
Was called what the heck was it? You know what? I don't remember.
Ironman.
How many beans was it for?
It was a 10-pack.
Damn.
$4,000.
Damn.
Man, I've seen even Dark Horse Genetics go for $400, $1,000
Thug
for the
Thug.
Bruce Banner. Yeah, that goes for about $400 a pack. Fuck, I can't remember who it was, but it is what it is. I know
Yeah,
some
I like
bog
dumping
seeds went
in
for a couple
sometimes.
grand.
Yeah.
Some what
I
seeds?
like dumping in there seeing stuff.
I could never do it. I could never do it.
Fuck, I could.
No, I couldn't either.
I couldn't do 40 right now.
Even if I had the money, I couldn't even like sensibly convince myself that was an intelligent investment. Like,
I can't remember now. Do you mess with exotics 311? Exotics genetics?
I have not.
You haven't?
But
Okay.
since you've said something, I've been actually looking. But
Okay.
they've been going for like $250 a pack, which is like
Yeah, you got to catch them at the right time. Yeah, but also Oni though, I've heard really good things about them.
Yeah, I got a lot of I got on that multi-pass for Ethos.
Okay, yeah.
That's
So I'll be having a drop there. So I'll end up with like a pack of 12, he said, in like February.
Okay. Oh yeah.
He sends like 12 packs through the multi-pass. Painted Lady knows more about it than I do, but he sends out like once or twice a year. You pay $1,000 one-time fee, and for life, he'll send you his gear.
Oh wow, that's really cool. That's actually good information.
yeah.
Yeah, go on to Ethos Genetics website and go to Ethos Multipass, and it's a one-time payment for life, and he'll send you his gear, all his new releases twice a year.
That's a really cool concept too. I like that. That's dope.
He's a good dude, and I have Mandarin cookies. I actually got it from the dispensary and fell in love with it, so I had to buy it. So
absolutely, that Tropicana from Oni is really nice. Let's see.
Oh, I have it from Masonic. I got Tropicana Punch times Wilson.
Oh, I've heard that Wilson's something crazy.
I got Wilson F2. I got Wilson F2 right now in veg, but like again, I've caught some of these breeders talking shit about other breeders, but it is what it is. They're probably just chasing clout, or they're sick of the bullshit with people. It's a stressful thing trying to come up in the seed game these days.
And that's why I respect people like Ross's Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, shout out him real quick, because like he's just kind of drama free. You know what I mean? And he's very just straightforward with everything. He doesn't try to hide anything. I respect the hell out of that kind of stuff. Especially right now.
Yeah.
But so that just bash and everybody shut down and stuff. So it's cool to see people try to uplift each other and stuff.
I don't think drama belongs in the grow room, period.
Oh no.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Rasta Jeff is a really, really, really good dude. Like every single email or DM or Cannabis DM or anything he's got back to me about, which is tremendous for a dude that gets 10,000 emails a day.
Yeah, no kidding.
He's a one-man show.
Yeah.
See, my partner
buddy DM'd him, and like he was so surprised when he got a response back, like quickly. You know what I mean? He was just so surprised by it. He's like, seriously? Like I wasn't expecting this for like a week.
Right.
No, he'd be like, "What are you gonna name this?" Or like the Canadental Arise. He's like, "What would you name it?" And I told him, I thought about it. I was like, I don't know what I'd name it. It's Canadental times Arise. So I was like, I'll call it Uptown Fadeaway. Because the Grateful Dead had LA Fadeaway, and this is like an up and down. He texted me back and he's like, "Oh, I might just have to steal your name." I'm like, "What?"
That's awesome.
Like, do I get free beans? He's like, "You got them Canada." He's like, "You got them Chem-Dela Chems." So, and I've never heard of Chem-Dela Chem. So
I love that
is
you're
this a new
still working
strain?
with some of those tried and trues, man, like the White Widow and stuff like that. That just speaks volumes, you know, it really does. Because I mean, smoking like a joint of some real true White Widow from back in the days, it's a whole experience within itself, you know, and there's so many just different, you know, you can go and get the purple punch crossed with, you know, blueberry testicles and all this, you know, like,
Yep.
but like tried and true stuff, it's just, you'll always have like a good market for it, you know, and people will always love it.
Robert, you're on TV?
Yeah, like I've grown like Power Plant and like I said, Sensi Star and Mazar and a lot of the old stuff from like TH seeds and Sensi seeds, like Skunk Number 1 back in the day, Northern Lights 5 times Hawaiian Haze, you know, like Sweet Tooth. You know, that was another good one back in the day. Sweet Tooth was a great strain.
Yeah. These are all ones I like. I was like reading about right when I came into like my connoisseur days, you know what I mean? Like after the first time I smoked some really good weed and I was like, holy shit, this exists, you know? Like I'd be picking up High Times magazines. I'd be picking up the Canna Bibles, the Ed Rosenthal, you know, like my dad's probably still got moving boxes full of shit, you know, like I've just always loved it, you know? And I remember reading about the Sweet Tooth and stuff like that, man. So like to see somebody that was like, yeah, I was there doing that shit, still here doing it, you know, like mad respect.
Ran them, and all of them I had. It's just remember that time I had to call it, you know. So shit happens.
Yeah, no doubt.
So nowadays, like I did send an email to Rasta to ask him how I could S1 what you're looking at there.
I think beautiful.
Because I do not have a clue where to start. To be honest with everybody, I just, like I said, I learned how to do what I did just by, you know, reading forums and just trial and error, man, and mistakes. And I've had a shit ton of mistakes. Don't get me wrong. I've had fucking spider mites. I've had PM. I've had all this stuff, you know, and don't get it twisted, everybody. I've had messed up grows, you know. I've had it where you go in and everything's webbed up and you're like, what to do? Hit it with Mighty Wash and stuff like this and, you know, that. So I've, you know, lived and learned and did all that stuff. And, you know, like being where I've like my profession, I started to learn that, hey, going out digging in the dirt every day, running a bobcat and a skid steer, being in the woods and clearing dirt, and then going downstairs in the same freaking shoes, you're an idiot. Well, that was my fault.
That's what they said. It's like a nuclear bomb, man. If you go take the shoes, your outside shoes into your fucking grow room's like putting a nuclear bomb in your fucking grow room, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't
yeah,
even
that's why
the shoes stay out of my bedroom because obviously it's in my bedroom, this one. But, you know.
I am rethinking everything.
The big grow, we don't have like the whole suit thing like yet, but we definitely have, you know, where we switch out our shoes and shit and gloves and all that stuff. But it's
I'm just waiting.
Finished, so
I'm waiting till after COVID when everybody's able to go back out and waiting for everybody to say, oh shit, I got spider mites. Because everybody's gonna not know what to do, man. Everybody's gonna be in the forest preserves, you know, doing their thing, having fun, you know.
Yeah.
But you can't. There's no like this. This shit sucks, you know. We weren't able to, you know. I'm an introvert, anyways, but you know, none of you guys are able to go out, you know, in the public to do concerts and shit like that and go enjoy yourselves. So us all of us to meet up somewhere, you know, and in a, you know, because I know that some of you guys are close by.
Yeah, man. It'll be awesome, you know.
I ain't that far from, you know, I'm not that far from you guys either.
I'm coming to Squish.
Hell yeah, you definitely. For sure.
I'll bring the tattoo machine.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta
Now
go
that
over
sounds like a party.
Yeah,
Johnny.
Tattoos and rosin squishing and mad dabs. Yes.
Just don't let me get too many dabs in before I start running.
Okay, you're cut off.
You're just around the horn. That's all. I
After
just got to go around the pond.
Push all the
yeah, man. We'll get it done.
71. We're gonna have to tattoo each other, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've been tattooing for 20 years.
I've seen some of your work. It looks pretty good too, man. So I got a lot of stuff I need touched up, done, and already gone far enough. Why not?
God damn, I gotta come down and hang out with you brothers.
Hey, yeah, man, we got to get you over, man.
I did this shit myself, but it sucks. It's horrible. I did.
Other than that, hey, all you got to do is throw a little background on it.
Right.
Concentrate on the background.
Fold out the outline a little bit, sharpen everything right up. You'll be fine.
For sure. That's what I need. Something.
But not bad for yourself, dude. It's hard to tighten the skin and get that line. And I did it, most of my left arm, and it's a motherfucker.
I did my thigh. Like a lot of tattoo artists kind of have.
I did my thigh.
Yeah.
Well, I did my calf. I did my freaking pelvic region, dude, and I didn't take in consideration how stretchy that skin is. So, like, trying to look at how close the needle was virtually impossible. So I had to stretch all the way out, and I was just doing the thing blind, like. Yeah. Once I started, I had to finish.
Nice. I got a smiley face and a pissed off face.
I got drunk when I first started tattooing, and I had like a home appointment the next day, and like thought it was a great idea to have everybody that doesn't know how to tattoo me on my thigh and stuff like that. So
I've never done that. I've never done that.
It's it's I don't know. I think it's funny, but
I think it's awesome.
I came into it pretty professionally. The kid I was learning off of was, had been an apprentice for a while at a shop.
The ink trap in the middle of Atlanta, Georgia, in the hood. We was out there slinging ink, and that's how I learned. But by me learning that I was still putting out better work than the people that were, messing people up left and right. Like I learned under somebody who went through a true apprenticeship, and then once I ended there, I actually went through an advanced apprenticeship after that. And stuff like that. But I always wanted to do cannabis. Like I just always wanted to. I lived in Prohibition land, so like I did the little trial run. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was on some bone meal and the fucking on top of it and shit. And I had the CFLs, the little spiral lights. I had like 12 lamps in there and shit. You know what I mean? And I just had other things going on in my life, and I had to go through what I went through in my life to get where I'm at, to where I can be like, yes, this is what I've been wanting to do my whole life. And to have people. I got that recipe. I already found and stuff. I'm gonna post that up. But it's cool, the journey. I love the journey, and hearing other people's journey. And it's awesome that you took the time out today to let me come out. Profit. It's always awesome just to have you around and stuff.
I love the show, man. You guys are great.
What recipe are you talking about? A Visine bottle and some of the ink that you make ink out of for tattooing? I'm just kidding.
No, man.
You know what's up, man.
It's toothpaste and cigarette ash. You gotta mix it up.
That's right. Yeah.
It's so funny. We were catching the ash one day, and we all turn around, and the bag flames up, and we're in the middle of a dorm at like 2 a.m. Yeah, luckily the guard had just like walked out and shit. That was a funny night. That was crazy, dude. He's stomping on it. My other buddy, he grabs the water, trying to put it out, misses it, fire, and just douses my homie.
I got a major ticket on my last day. I don't remember what the fuck it was for, man, but I lost like all kinds of contraband, like fucking shit I was gonna give to my homies anyway. You know what I mean? It was my last fucking night. But yeah, I got a major.
All your fifis? Huh? All your fifis?
Yeah. all my porn. I had a shitload of them. They're old as fuck, but I had a lot of them, man.
I got somebody coming out in like 90 days, right around there, 98 days, I think. Really excited about him getting out. But man, my buddy Verzi, I'm always putting hashtag free Verzi on Instagram, or Cannabis as well. And dude, I met him when I was in there, and he's just such a gnarly dude, man. You know what I mean? He really helped me get back on the path of just goodness and good vibes, and just getting with the right people. And he doesn't stress that, And I'm just glad that Cannabis was huge when I got out, man. Like I found that app, and it wasn't very like popular or anything, right. But it was just a good group of people, man, that shared that interest, and that's what really helped me get started, man. And
me too.
Get where we're going.
Okay. Really. And learning, I learned so much from Cannabis and all you guys, man. For real. This fucking pandemic, dog, this shit fucking helped me through that, honestly. But it wouldn't, you know what I mean? But like you said, the journey, bro. That definitely
We see you found him sooner.
all about that. But guys, I gotta bounce. I share this fucking room with my roommate and shit, and he's been stuck out there all day. Thinks he's got to stay out there. He got to stay out there. So.
I hear you,
Yeah, I
bro.
gotta do.
Guys,
I gotta do Valentine's Day.
Me too.
yeah.
All right.
You guys all have a good one, man.
311. Thanks for coming on,
See
man.
you later, Rob.
Appreciate you coming, man.
Adios.
Caribou, man. Tell Caribou I love him, man. I'll
Yeah,
tell him.
we'll do.
71. I'll be talking to you
Peace out, brother. I'll see you.
later. 311. Later.
Later, man. Have a good day.
You too.
I dig the shirt.
Thank you.
Hey,
Got that ref for you.
Yeah, I like that he has a lot of those named after that. After like the Ninja Turtles and stuff. Then he has a grateful. I like how he sticks to themes, kind of. Rasta Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that line's pretty much gone because he didn't want to get popped. So
Yeah, man.
copyright.
So out of all of them, do you have like a particular favorite that you enjoy the most?
You're looking at it.
Yeah, that's it, huh?
Yeah, nothing comes close. Everything that I've tried since I've had it, nothing comes close,
Now,
dude.
what are the terp profiles on yours?
So you get like a little, maybe it's earth with maybe a little lime and gas.
Okay, so
straight
yeah,
old school White Widow.
Okay, yeah, the one I had this summer, it was reminiscent of the old one, but I knew it wasn't pure. You know what I mean? It had a little berry in it, but it still had that just real just, you know, once you smell it, you kind of know, you know, like you might smell it in a different strain, but you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's some of there, and that's in there somewhere, you know. Yeah,
it smells straight like hash.
Yeah,
like it tastes like hash,
man. And it's kind of like that little creeper. It's like a mid creeper, you know what I mean? It's like I'll be halfway through a joint and I'll be like, wow, man, you know what I mean? Like, hell yeah, you know.
Yeah, it's psychoactive. Like if I smoke it at night and I'm gaming and I'll look to the side, I might think I see something. That's how good it is.
My buddy has bad heart problems, so he has to do a lot of walking. And so he tries to find kind of uplifting strains, and I was able to gift him with a little bit, and he absolutely loved it. He texted me later on the day. He's like, oh my God. So, yeah, that was really cool.
I'll have to get you some of it. If you guys come next week, the Johnny's, have that.
I'm trying. Yeah, I gotta get Mark. I just gotta, now that Mark has his tags and everything straight, I'm gonna get my license together, man, and I'll be a little bit more mobile with that.
I see what he bought last night.
yeah, that stuff was nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's nice, but it would have been way nicer if it wasn't, you know what I mean, vacuum sealed and fucking everything, just all the pride and joy taken out of it. But, you know, it's still gas, which is great, you know, because you got these people at the dispensaries that try to make everything super pretty or whatever, and it's just straight trash half the time.
No. He was on the auction.
Oh, Blazing Asian?
Yeah, he picked up that in-house.
Did he? Okay.
What did he grab?
I think he got Slurricane.
Nice. I haven't even talked to him today yet.
I've got Slurricane from in-house running right now. Actually, I'm looking at about a half a dozen of them that I cut before I came up to my parents and thought I'd hang them up in their basement here just for good old times.
Yeah.
And, Slurricane from in-house. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. I can't remember though which one it was. It was that or Garlic Storm or something, dude. He picked something up from in-house and it's fire. I know that.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's like, the guy from Canada is like, oh, make sure you give me a cut. And Blazing's just laughing, like, okay, sure, buddy.
Hey, he's Blazing Asian, man. He's a genuine dude. He's an gnarly dude, man. Shout out to him. He's like family to me, man. He's good fucking dude. Yeah,
I told him I need a cut. He's like, okay.
He'd probably walk it over, bro.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
reached
he's
out
a
to me a
good
few times in the last week or two, and I just appreciate it. Just a really kind-hearted guy, man. It's
No, totally is,
world
man.
needs way more people like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody on here is like that.
Oh yeah,
I've
no doubt.
seen.
No doubt, man. And that's what's cool. It's just everybody kind of finds each other when they need each other almost, you know, like every I can speak for myself type deal, you know what I mean? Like I've been looking for this kind of type of group of people. I moved around a lot when I was young type deal, you know what I mean? So it's always trying to jump in somewhere, you know, but I didn't feel like I had to try to be anybody, you know what I mean? I just came out here like, yo, this is what I want to do. This is, you know, this is me. And everybody accepted me with open arms and, you know, has nothing but advice and stuff like that to try to give you, everybody wants the end goal, you know what I mean, around me. They want the best possible medicine, you know, bottom line.
Yep. And
it all starts with flour. It doesn't matter if it's concentrate or anything. If you want good concentrate, it starts with good flour, you know, and that's why I love flour. I've always loved it. My favorite thing to smoke in the world, I don't care if it's a dab or anything, is a perfect joint, you know, just a nice joint. And I can smoke it by myself. I like that. Or I can smoke it with good company, you know, but
I like it when you get your, like, whatever it is you're smoking, like, especially if you can kind of gangster it up a bit, like put a rosin grease stain on the paper kind of thing, maybe throw some like keef or whatever in there with 2 or 3 different kinds of weed. And just one of those joints that it'll burn for 20 minutes, 30 minutes or whatever, and just a couple cups of coffee with it.
How about that one that you don't do any of that shit to? You know what I mean? And that's the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, where yeah. I get you.
Yeah,
Make
but
a donut
I
joint.
like what you're saying, Caribou. Like, hell yeah.
That donut joint, right? the
donut
joint where you put the strip down the center.
Oh yeah, I did.
Rosin.
Me and Blazing and Asian, we did a rope the other day with the bubble hash that we got from Indica B, and yeah, it was great, man. That stuff was fantastic. Shout out to him. That stuff was awesome, dude. I haven't had good bubble hash like that in forever, and it was fantastic. And the joint was awesome too. I've never really smoked a joint with a little rope. It looked all cool. I think I posted it, but yeah, this social media stuff. So pretty wild, right? I bet, especially for you. But I've never done Instagram. I've never done Facebook or anything like that. And then I get out of prison and I see it, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of my foot in, I think, because nothing was legal when I got locked up, you know, like I couldn't, and then they just started doing it for felons and when I got locked up type stuff. So how are you integrating into it?
It's tough for me.
Yeah.
Very tough, because like I said, when I was 8, everything was done before I have to go to a payphone. You know what I mean? You had to find a payphone. Now you can't even find one anywhere.
Yeah.
So, and everything's on touch screen. It's like you got your own freaking computer in your hand. Like I'm on my iPhone right now, and there's so much to learn on this thing. I don't even know what half of it does.
Well,
I know it takes damn good pictures.
Right? You come from an era where everything's like hush hush, you know what I mean? Nobody knows, you know what I mean? Like you're living with people and they don't even know about it, you know. Come from that era to where now it's like me, I'm overly open with it, and I've learned that the hard way a couple times, you know what I mean? But I like the aspect of knowing that when my parole officer comes over, you know what I mean, I'm on plant limits and all that shit, you know what I mean? So I understand on my aspect it's a little bit easier, you know what I mean? But so like how was that? Were you just like, what the hell, you know what I mean? Like I bet that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
just seeing how
but nobody knows.
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's totally freaking me out. It totally freaked me out to where, like, is everybody watching me? Is this going to be like all recorded? They're going to know exactly where I am. They know the IP address and all this stuff.
Yeah, I get it, man. Yeah, and it's like I really appreciate coming out and doing this, and it's awesome because I think it'll give other people confidence to come out as well. You know, the more exposure, the better, because we're all in this together. And now I think it's finally to where people like you can come out and be like, fuck yeah, man, you know, but in due time with everything, you know, we got to see what's going on with this new guy coming in and like see what he's about to do.
But like, if you see how I post pictures, I don't post pictures of rooms. Just post a picture of buds of my plants. So they can't They can't, you know what's up, man. I mean, old school. I'm an old school guy,
Yeah,
so you
yeah.
know,
I can dig it though. I like that, you know, and I see how you're kind of integrating in, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
But then, you know, like I see people like struggling, and then I found out how close, you
Yeah.
know. So I was like, oh man, I could definitely use, you know, a friend, you know, because I don't have anybody, you know, like I was like, don't ask, no tell for 15 years. I had one friend from high school, and that's it.
Right.
That's it. That because I could count my life on this dude, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
that's
good
it.
to have people like that, man, and it's hard to find people like that. So I'm kind of with you, like close friends type deal. Like I don't know, and especially restarting everything this last time, like I really take into consideration who I keep close to me, you know.
Yeah. But
No
like,
doubt.
you know, Sweet down there, he's took on, and you know, it was just how I was freaking weird how it happened, but it just happened, and you know, we're just cool because
Yeah.
he's got that good aura where he has the same kind of issues, you know, his hands all, you know, we deal with the same shit, dude, with the same issues, and with kids and wife and like everything. It's like fucking identical. Yeah. So then, and then I seen he was having issues, and so I helped him try to turn things around, and now it's like night and day over there.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've seen his improvements within the last couple of months skyrocket. You know what I mean? And, yeah, for real. And just his theory behind things are starting to change now. He's looking at the plant as a whole instead of just like one little thing at a time, which is pretty awesome.
And that comes with what I tell him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I tell him, you know, just let it do its thing, and you know, you sit there and watch it. That's it. You know, you don't have to keep adding shit and touching it and fucking with it and stuff like that. You know, just sit back and let it do its thing and have a good aura in there. You know, because I believe they sense it. You know, they bleed. You know, you cut them, they bleed. You know, you sit in there and you play crappy music, and they're not gonna like it. I believe that. I believe it.
Absolutely.
You know. And I don't know if I'm the only one who's weird like that, but dude, it's the truth.
Not. I hear it all the time. Here, I think there's a Mythbusters episode about that once, about playing music with plants.
Yeah, I think
Well, like,
you're right, actually. That does sound familiar. But I think it was actually classical did the best. Metal did the
Classical and, like,
worst. But the funny
metal.
thing is, if you take classical music and play it through a Fender on a set of Marshall stacks, you've got metal.
About distortion and all that
right.
shit.
Okay. Well, you know, it's just I don't know how the theory goes, but I believe it is like that because like when I found out that I had all these back issues and I couldn't work digging anymore, I have to stand back and be the guy that points fingers. You know, I'm the dude that's always jumping to work, man. I can't sit there and watch some fucker do it because you're doing it wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? So, you know, that took a toll on my body, and it took a toll on my plants because they seen that I was in a shit mood all the time and I had all these issues. So they could sense it. So then they all start getting red leaves on the stems, and they start getting, you know, neglected by me. So then they're like, you know, a pissed off wife or girlfriend.
Yeah. It's funny because when I was going through my spout of arguing a lot, that's when I ran into all this stuff, and I was misreading it wrong. Just like I was kind of my life at that time. You know what I mean? It's funny how it, I guess it's not really funny. It's just how it is. But, you know, you can laugh at it in hindsight, you know, but it's definitely, I try to give it good vibes and stuff like that. I know it sounds silly to some people, but I totally believe it, man. You know, like you are what you
We're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you because we agree.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah. And I can totally dig that. So I just want to, and that's why, like, I've always wanted to get in the industry and stuff like that, or not even the industry, just be able to do it and have a good life doing it and help other people doing it. So by getting up with, people like everybody I talk to now, it's awesome, and I say getting into it, and that's just, sharing genetics and just being part of the community as a whole. That's what's super important. And yeah, no doubt.
I always wanted to start a grow store.
A grow
there ain't
store?
enough around here. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's nowhere
Yeah.
where I can go except I got the roots down where I'm at, but everything's overpriced and it's just not that great stuff,
Roots is good though. Roots Organic's what I've used for years.
Yeah. The one that
that's all
comes
I
from
use
over
is
here?
Roots.
Down here?
No, is it in an Army current camouflage bag?
Yeah.
That's what I use, dude. I've used it my
Okay.
whole life. That's
Okay.
what sub.
Yeah,
That's even what
I'm
sub
also
use.
using my information from somebody who I found several stuff was not exactly the case. So,
What do you mean?
Just a local grow me around here. You know what I mean? He told me a lot of stuff that ended up not being true about how much experience he had, this and that, and so like a lot of things that and had to learn that the hard way, kind of. But
sub cool mix is basically the mix I gave you. Or remember I sent you that DM on Instagram?
Yeah, I got it right here actually. I already sent it to Caribou and Opie and Indica and everything. I'm gonna put it up on Cannabis for you.
No, but the guy that still will.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Yeah.
Once Sub Cool died, Still Will inherited all his shit.
Yeah, I was listening to a podcast and found out he was sitting there talking about everything. And that's where I found out about Still Will. That's when I started following him on Instagram. Yeah, so that stuff looked awesome. You sent me that link too, and I had already been looking at it and stuff. And hell yeah.
Yeah, that way you could do what like I do without going and finding all them down to earth genetics, dude. You don't have to go and find all of them anywhere. You could just go and purchase that, comes right to your door. You use 2 pounds per bag, done.
All right, and then I mean, do you have to do that every grow, or are you going to recycle that and make it again, or what? You're just one and done.
One and done, but I use half of it
like
to reuse veg.
Yeah. I'm looking into the little bit more of the reusing just right now, but on things that like I want to do to where I'm not playing around with it. I want to have a sure shot thing, and that's where I'm definitely going to get that together that you put together, because I want to see how that's going to incorporate into this. Some of these bigger name genetics that I want to run and stuff like that.
You could always lose dirt.
Yeah.
Just put it in a tote, find a bridge with some water underneath it, and back in the earth it goes.
Yeah.
You didn't hear that from me, but that's the best way to. That is a great way to recycle it, though, is to stop at the middle of the bridge, toss it over, and all that just goes right back to the earth, man.
I like that.
Recycled.
No
Yeah,
doubt.
that way you're not leaving root balls on the side of a fucking ditch somewhere like an asshole.
Right? Just ruin it for the next person. I hear you. I heard about that overgrown. I heard about that overgrown at High Times back in like the early 2000s. And so like,
yeah, bro.
Yeah. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm in there still in the sub cool chats in there with my name, but it was a different name back then. I think it was like Chronic or something. I don't know. Chronic Step or whatever. I can't remember. But yeah, but there was the old cat LC who started it all, and that was back in like the early 90s.
Yeah.
Hey guys, can I just step in for a sec here?
Sure.
This is a great conversation. I'm having fun listening to it, but I'm gonna jump off right now and take my camera offline. I'm gonna still have my computer running, so if you guys want to keep talking, just keep going, and then whenever you're done, I'll be able to shut the meeting down or whatever. Because this is still some great stuff that you guys are doing. I just gotta start bouncing. So
okay, yeah.
Or if you guys want to get on, okay, we can shut her down now. Either or. But I'm fine to let this keep going, because this is getting to be some really good stuff you guys are getting into.
Good too. It's up to you, man. It doesn't bother me. I got some stuff I got to do today, but I'm not doing nothing right now. So.
All right. Well, yeah, if you want, I can keep this going because this is good shit we got going on here, guys. Good, genuine, organic conversation, right? I just have got to start throwing my attention elsewhere.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
Okay. So,
what you want to do? 311? You good or?
I'm good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I love chatting with you, brother, and you'll hear from me soon enough, anyway. So.
Yeah.
And I'll get Mark. We'll come up there sometime soon, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
but I'm good though, man. I could get off or whatnot. It's Valentine's Day, and my wife's she's got to go get some stuff for my daughter or whatnot. So I'm gonna give her, a kiss and whatnot, and get on with my day. So it was a pleasure to be on.
Hey, well, it's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah. Like everybody in the chat, I don't know if you were keeping up with Chat 311, but everybody was so stoked to have you. They loved you here. They wanted you back. Really appreciate it, man. You're a ton of knowledge, man. Super fucking stoked to have you on today. Appreciate that.
Okay. I'll be back. I just
we
I
like
hope I didn't offend Terp.
No. He's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's
I've been reaching out to him.
Everybody loves him.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah, he's a good dude, so if he's still in the chat or whatnot listening, peace out, Terp. We all love you. And everybody else, Flumpkins and Sticky Bob and everybody else that was in the chat, man. Glad to into Kabee, all you guys are great, man. Thanks for listening to me ramble. And I'll be back.
All right. We can't wait to have you back.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
All right, brother. Have a great one.
Peace out, guys.
All right. Everyone in chat, thanks for everything. It was a great show today. Thanks again for 311 showing up and doing this. Tuesday show, we got Painted Lady coming on. It's going to be one hell of a show, and you're not going to want to miss that. So we'll see you Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific. Until then, everybody have a great day.